They say today is Good Friday. It's funny how Good Friday seems to come one time a year. And for many people, Good Friday can come a number of times. And I know that Good Friday doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the term good, but it's a religious thing. I get all of that. But the reality is why can't we have a good Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and Saturday and Sunday? Why can't we just have a good 7 days? If you're wondering where I'm going with this, it's because there's somebody right now listening, somebody who's coming on to this video, clicking it on, who's had a really bad last few days. They're going through so much. They have dealt with so much. They have found themselves in positions that they never thought that they would find themselves in. And the answers to their questions don't seem so clear. And their hope sometimes gets a little weak. The faith begins to weary. And the idea of taking a breath becomes hard. If you are that person listening, if you're that person feeling this way, before you make a decision that I have to live with, that the people who care about you have to live with, make one that you can live with and contact the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. Contact 1-800-273-8255. You don't even got to tell them your name. You don't have to tell them where you're from. You can simply just tell them you need to talk and tell them how you're feeling. And they will help guide you through the entire process. You are not in this alone. You are not the only one feeling the way that you feel. This is not something that is just an anomaly that's happening with just you. It happens to every single one of us. And many of us don't have the courage to simply reach out and get help. And if for some reason, just some odd reason, you don't even want to go this route, then feel free to reach out to me. Whether you know it or not, I'm a very good listener, and I would do my best to assist you in any way possible. I would do my best to be there for you and go through the whole entire process with you. I will talk with you. I will be there for you. I simply just need you to reach out and tell me we need to talk. So before you make that decision, before you go down that road, just take a second to breathe, make a phone call, or simply send a message to get help. Now let's talk football. What's going on, Pride Nation, and welcome back to another Field Review podcast show where we talk all things what? Detroit Lions. Oh, I'm in a good mood today, people, and it's because, for one, a brother got some time off. Yes, some much-needed time off that he absolutely needed. And he's spending part of it with you, and then he's going to spend the rest of it with his family as he enjoys this long weekend. Also, I'm getting geared up because I can't wait to watch a little bit of USFL, right? I want to see that too. But we'll get into all of that and then some. If you have paid attention, you will know that right now that we are in the midst of getting ready to talk sports with one of the subscribers, my man, Drew. What's going on, Drew?
Hey, Luke. How you doing? You hear me?
Sorry about that. I'm still listening. I'm still on daddy duty, man. Still on daddy duty.
I hear you.
He dropped something else, and he wanted to tell me that his little brother is up. Okay. I'm good, man. I'm doing good. How you?
Today was a little bit cloudy out here, and kind of like kind of a meh day over here. But like I was looking forward to doing this most of the day. So finally, here we're gonna kick it off. So I'm pretty excited.
I know, I am too. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through and do the quick roll call, and then I'm gonna tell you about some of the messages that I got. I've been getting some messages about you.
Oh God, I'm sure I'll. Is this like where celebrities read mean tweets? Is that this kind of thing?
I wish it was that type of way, but it's more like celebrity reads more aware tweets, because I have gotten so many messages like, how he up here talking about Lions with this Ravens hat on. I'm like, can't he like the Ravens? I mean, it's 32 teams. And like, at least he's not like me. I like 3 teams in the NFC. You got a team in the AFC and the NFC. Like, what's wrong with that? Good grief. Bro, let's see who's in the building with us. We got Forbidden Knowledge in the building. Dr. Pepperoni, Looney Tune, Chrome, Detroit D, Jon Kapler, Dre Barnes, Rich Law. We got Charles Davis. We got, let me see, Dr. Detroit, John Jones, Q, Detroit Made Me, D-Town, Diplomat, Super Saiyan Lion in the mix. We have Marcus Willis, Free 313. We got the first black man on the net. He says, okay, fellas, after the number 2 pick is history, I don't want to hear nobody complaining about the no-name pick that Brad Holmes select through the 6th round like last year. We gonna get into it. We got Mekhi Hope, Predator Kingdom, and let's see, Brandon Blockton, and let me see, William Burch is in the building. Shout out to the family. Let me see. We got JGB in the building. Make sure I miss nobody. I think I covered everybody. If you are already here, please hit that like and notification bell. And if you have already hit the like and notification bell, give me some type of strange emoji. Let me know you rocking with us for a moment. All right, we got a good show today because we got to talk about a lot of stuff. We got to talk about player visits, trying to break the Brad Holmes code, and a host of other news that's going to come up. And so let's have a little fun with my man Marcel Edwards in the building. What up, though? One Funky Lions fan is in the building too. Appreciate it. Make sure y'all hit that like button for me. Drew, as a guest, I'm going to let you start this one off. What topic do you think we should kick this off with first?
Well, let's start with player visits then.
All right, let's go with player visits. In case you did not hear, the Detroit Lions have a visit set to see, particularly, which is odd because I read this and I'm like, is that true? This is the first and only quarterback they have brought in thus far for a visit, and that is not Malik Willis. Kenny Pickett? Really? And I got some thoughts about this. The first thing that jumped out to me was in last year, we visited with a lot of people. It was who we really didn't visit with too much that we end up taking. So that's part of it for me. But if the Lions had the galls to take a Kenny Pickett, I don't think Pride Nation would be happy with that. You know, what do you think, Drew? You think they would be able to accept that pick?
I don't think they would be happy. I like to call him Kenny Two Gloves.
Oh Jesus!
But because his hands are so small, he has to wear two gloves. But you're right. So they are bringing in. So the only quarterback on the schedule so far that they're going to meet with is hey, old timer. Is Kenny Pickett. However, their team in the Senior Bowl had Malik Willis, which we know all about, right. Sam Howell and Bailey Zappi. So I mean, last season, to your point, they half the guys that they drafted they met with, and the other half they didn't meet with, according to Micro Mike this morning. So I would be happy with positional value. So I don't know how to really assess them bringing in Kenny Pickett. So to me, the quarterbacks I think that they're quote unquote doing their due diligence on are Pickett, Willis, Sam Howell, and Bailey Zappi. And so I look at that group and I think the only place you could get Willis is with your first pick in the draft, your number 2 overall. And then both Howell and Pickett in a certain world have an opportunity to be there at the end of the first round, probably more likely Sam Howell. And so I think that if they're going to go with a quarterback in this year's class, like it would have to be either at the end of the first or at the top of the second, probably at the end of the first. And like, I would have to think the front runner would be Sam Howell, but then you'd have to cut either David Blau or Tim Boyle because you're not
which would be no issue.
Right. I mean, the only thing I think is weird about that, though, is that, and I know it's not going to stop them from drafting a quarterback if they feel that's the best move for the team, but you sign both of those guys. To me, it would I don't know that I would have gone into the draft with both of them on the roster. I mean, a minimum contract's a minimum contract, and you don't change your process based upon that, but I don't know that I sign 2 backups and then go into the draft class looking for a quarterback. So, but they might. I just don't think that they will take one.
See, for me, it's a little bit more of what they said about how we believe we can develop a quarterback. And if that was the group that I had to pick out, I'm taking Zappi. Because Zappi, I know I can probably take way down the line and not have to panic and take somebody who can't help me this year. If I'm going to sit a quarterback, he's going to sit for a reason, like as a 5th or 6th round pick. Okay. Sure. And I'm not taking them outside of those rounds and stuff. So I get it then. But for me, the idea of bringing in Pickett to me, I just find it intriguing because, like you said, they had an opportunity to get real close and personal with at least 3 of the prospects.
Right.
And you know that they've had opportunities to do it before. And like I said, it's all about trying to break that code. You know, many of the people that they just didn't visit with, these are just patterns, you know, and it's one of the reasons why I tell this fan base, look for the patterns. What do you notice? I noticed that when it came to Bob Quinn, if you want to know who our first pick was, it probably was going to be a SEC or Big Ten player. And so you need to look whoever the best player was between those 2 conferences, because that's what they did repeatedly. And so with this guy, it's about more like who he's not talking to that seems to be the pattern.
Yeah, I'll be extremely interested after the draft to see, okay, who they select, where they select them. Did you meet with them prior to the draft? Because, you know, whether it's, 4 or 5 guys, either way, like he split it pretty much down the middle in 2021. So, I mean, like that doesn't leave us. I mean, if it was like 7 of their 8 players they selected or something like that, you could confidently say he's probably going to take a guy that he met with prior to the draft. And like, I just don't know that you can say that about Brad Holmes at this point. He's super mysterious.
But he's also calculated in a way where if you look at the Brad Holmes moves and the conferences, he likes the ACC. And so I noticed that a lot of those players came from the ACC. Mm-hmm. And then another thing that I picked up on him, on top of it, on if they were from here or not, he draft best player available for need. So these were things that he was picking up based on the needs that we have. So to me, he's building a profile. And he's also showing you how he values things, because I remember, he kept on getting low grades and getting yelled at because he didn't take a receiver. And then when he finally took one, the first interview he gets, he goes, "Now y'all can get the hell off my damn back. Okay. We got a receiver. Leave me alone." And so to me, that tells me a lot about it. Shout out to you, Old Timer Dave. If you don't know, Old Timer Dave is a Packer fan who rocks with me. I support the big homie.
Okay.
He says Kenny 2 gloves, man.
There he is.
They said did they say that Joe Burrow has small hands as well?
I mean, I don't think that he has big hands. I think he measured, but I mean, Kenny Pickett has, like, since they've been measuring hand size at the combine, he has like the smallest or second smallest hands ever measured. So, so it's like, oh, Joe Burrow, his hands are smaller than you would prefer. Kenny Pickett hands are like little children's hands that have been put on adults. Like it's very odd.
Got it. What's going on, Vast Starwin, Marcel Edwards? I see y'all in the building. Dose of Good. Let me try to say his name right. Yeah, Dose of Goodwin is in the building. Jello's in the building. Friendly Neighborhood Lions fan is in the building. Tactical Puma 58. James Harrington is in the building. Ramon the New Age is in the building with me. I see you. Michael Reamer is in the building. Let me see. Keep going. Dat Fan Man is in the building. Breeze is in the building. Make sure I ain't forgetting nobody. Y'all know Willis is the pick, right? Y'all are really overthinking this. If Willis is the pick, then he's the pick. I don't. For me, it's not a matter of overthinking. It's a matter of it don't make sense. It don't. To me, that's a luxury pick. You know what I'm saying? Now, luxury picks for me are people who are taking things that they think that they can take because they are good with their situation, and the situation ain't good for us. We got glaring holes that I'm not confident that we should go into the season with. Like, this is cool. Like, I get it, but I'm not confident enough to say this should happen. Which brings me to the next part of this thing in terms of the visits. In case y'all were wondering who we visit with, I'll give you the quick rundown. And again, keep in mind, I'm also looking at who we visit with and what school they at and the conferences and stuff. So I'm putting all this together to figure this out. But as of right now, you got Kenny Pickett, Treylon Burks, Eric Johnson, which is the D lineman from Missouri State, in case y'all didn't know. I know that's a kind of a typical name.
Missouri State.
Aiden Hudson, Kayvon Thibodeau, Trayvon Walker, Jermaine Johnson, Nakobe Dean, Brian Asamoah from Oklahoma, Devin Harper from Oklahoma State, Derek Stingley, Jaquan McMillan from East Carolina, Kyle Hamilton, Lewis Singh, Kirby Joseph, and I'm gonna take a gander at my man, Duran Turner Yell, I don't
know about that one.
That one's from Oklahoma as well, safety. And then they also talked to Connor Sampson, which is from Western Illinois. Hassan Haskins from Michigan, which if I'm taking any Michigan running back, it's got to be Kenneth Walker. I think Haskins is nice, but let's be honest.
I don't think they're anticipating drafting a running back where I think they're trying to bring in people that align with where they would like to draft a running back. And I think Walker is going to be the first or second running back.
I see what you're saying. I'm picking up what you're putting down. This is why you're here, Drew. I'm picking up what you're putting down. They also looked at running back Brock Koback, Toledo, wide receiver Chad Gilliard from Saginaw Valley State, Dylan Baldwin from Michigan. Let me see, Jalen Martin, Thomas. I'm not even gonna play with this dude's name. Odokuyo, Oudukoya from Eastern Michigan. Offensive lineman Andrew Sturbert, offensive guard Zan Obey from Ferris State, D tackle Kristen Hilton from Michigan, linebacker Jeremy Tyler from Princeton, cornerback Sauce Gardner from Cincinnati. They also talked to safety, which I find them to be a slot corner, but that's another story. Daxton Hill, and then safety Brad Hawkins from Michigan, safety Scott Nelson from Wisconsin, safety / linebacker AJ Thomas from Western Michigan, and punter Jack Julian from Eastern Michigan, as well as Ali Fayed, Western Michigan linebacker / DN. Holy smokes, man! That's a lot of damn people to be talking to.
Yeah, I believe they get 30 visits every.
Yeah, but I named most of the 30 visits and then some.
Yeah.
so I'm just saying they've had their fair share of visits, and I'm just saying, to me, it's the one thing the one thing I can tell you I notice about their visits is the one position that there's a lot of safeties.
I wouldn't be surprised if they took a safety.
They visit with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 different safeties. They visit with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 will be considered edge rushers, whether they're DN or outside linebackers. And the next highest position that they took was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The next highest position was cornerback. Part of the formula of trying to break this damn code. What do you think about so far with the visits that they have? I mean, majority of them are coming down to some type of edge rusher.
So when you were reading off those names, the thing that I kept thinking about was they have the position groups that they have a bunch of people coming in at. They have those visits to me say they are looking at taking that position at multiple points throughout the draft.
Okay.
So they either want multiple players at those positions, or they want to be prepared in case one of those guys that they brought in, if that's their goal, if like the guys that they're bringing in are guys that they like and they want on the team, and one of them's there in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round, whatever it might be, should we go get him? Is he there when we pick next? Like, so that they can kind of juggle what's going on when the draft's actually happening. So I look at it and I think that's good. I'm glad. I mean, even if they're just taking a couple of positions and saying, hey, we want 1 or 2 of these guys coming out of the draft, let's see if we can do our due diligence on, the Senior Bowl roster plus these 30 guys or however many they're bringing in. Let's make sure that we don't just all pick the top 2 or 3 guys at every position and then get mad when they're not there in the 3rd round, So I like the approach, is the long way of saying it.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it's one of them things where you want them to do all their homework. They have to do all of their homework. And if they're not doing that.
So hang on one second. The guy that you just had highlighted here, Travis Elkins, said Adam Anderson, Georgia. He is accused of rape and that case is still pending. And based on everything that the culture that they are building, I would be absolutely shocked if Adam Anderson is a Detroit Lion. I doubt he is drafted. I mean, if he wasn't accused of what he's accused of, he would be someone that you would look at in the early rounds, but I don't think that he's going to be drafted now, because unless that case gets settled prior to the draft, he's looking at jail time. So
yeah, I mean, again, they talked about they don't want any turds and all this other stuff, and I'm like, okay,
right.
Cool, you don't want any turds, and that's cool. But I'm not buying the Jordan Davis talk at all. I think that the whole idea of us taking a defensive tackle who can only be on the field for 2 downs don't make sense.
2 downs if we're lucky. The dude played 155 snaps over something like 13 or 14 games last year. So whether that was their scheme and they just had to rotate players in, that's fine. But like 155 is 155, and that's hard to argue. So, and other teams took advantage of him when he was on the field. They would go hurry up in order to trap him so that Georgia couldn't substitute. I don't want that guy. I know he's lost 15 pounds since the combine, but like,
don't matter.
Yeah, I mean, like,
don't matter.
I don't think that means that he's going to go from a 1 down to a 2 down to a 3 down player. And like, I just don't see it. Like, he ran fast for how big he is. That's great. It doesn't, I watch his game tape and tell me that he's going to be out there consistently, and we'll have a different conversation.
Yeah. And if you look at it, what's the point of you bringing him in? Because he's not like in Ndamukong Suh. He's not changing it. No, he's not going to change that.
And the role that he would play on the Lions is the role that Ali McNeil plays. So
exactly, and he actually can pass rush, in my opinion, better than Davis. He's more agile, more limber, flexible, athletic.
He is agile.
You know, so I just don't buy that Davis would be the pick. Now, Super Saiyan Lion says he have a big feeling the Lions are considering Jermaine Johnson at 2. Okay. Now, Drew
player. Yeah,
you said. You said what play?
he transferred from Georgia. I mean, everybody in this first round seems like they went to Georgia at one point. So
I'm just saying, but if the Lions did do that, how are you feeling? If the Lions come out and they say with the 2nd overall pick we select Jermaine Johnson, what are you thinking?
I'd be surprised. I would be surprised. Like, there's a number of players in this draft, maybe 3 or 4, that I would say, okay, I can see their reasoning. I'm not going to shoot up off my couch when they draft them. Jermaine Johnson would be a guy that I think my eyebrows would go up to be like, you had him. So like, let's say Aiden goes 1 to Jacksonville, like everyone's predicting, right? Mm-hmm. That still leaves, and don't beat me up about this, but that would leave Thibodeau, Trayvon Walker, Carol Aftis, and Jermaine Johnson as the players potentially able to go at that position next. And if they had Jermaine Johnson as the 2nd best edge in the class, or their next edge, the guy that they would take in that position, I would be surprised. But he's not a bad player. I mean, like, I think that I would get to a point with him where I could be like, okay, let's see what he could do. I just don't think that he fits at number 2 overall.
Study the game says, I think Brad Holmes is so calculated and strategic at planning. It's like throwing the hound dog scent off. Going to be hard to break this code. It has been hard.
It's going to be hard, especially only 1 year in.
Yeah, but you know what? 1 year in, I had already broke the code on Bob Quin. So I'm not BSing you. That's why I knew who he was going to take. I'm like, oh yeah, we're taking the tight end. It was what he did throughout the year that made me look at it and go, that's interesting. And then with Brad Holmes, his moves have been so strange, and I'm having a hard time catching too many patterns. And the ones I do have, I just write them down like this the first pattern, this another pattern, and I keep working it until I can get it. But it has been a damn challenge for real. So yeah, you're right. It is going to be challenging. It said they getting that kicker that everybody is talking about at 2. If he can come in and punt and kick that damn thing 80 and 90 yards, I would definitely draft a kicker at 2 if he can kick that goddamn far. I mean, think about this though, right?
Yeah.
Just think about this. If you got a kicker who can kick a field goal like 80 to like 90 yards,
sure.
Why would you not take this dude?
I mean, it completely changes like that impossibility, which we haven't seen yet, right?
But we haven't seen it, right?
Let's say that it exists. Like, so I remember the Rams had a kicker, Zerline, 5-6 years ago, And someone did a study on him that basically said he changes the way that the Rams actually approach their field position decisions, because if you get him within, say, he was like for a while he was like the most accurate kicker from like 50 to 60 yards. And so he was like, if you can get him within that range, like he changes the way that you can kind of play the field position game, because now you might want to kick a field goal or attempt a field goal with some kind of degree of certainty, as opposed to having to punt the ball, for a net of 25 yards or something like that. So if you could get a guy like you're describing who can extend that range even further, I think that it changes the game. You still got to score touchdowns, though. I mean, that's 3 field goals for every touchdown. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, if it's like, well, we need to win the game and, we're on our 35, let's bring out, Ariza or whoever and kick the thing for the win. Like, it'd be like, oh, that's pretty cool.
That's how Janikowski was. When he got selected high, everybody thought that the Raiders lost their mind. But in my opinion, it worked out. He was drilling them things from distances like boom, boom,
He's
boom.
One of the best.
And I couldn't kill him on it. I know positional value. We know how you feel about it. But I'm just saying it worked. It worked for him.
They used a draft pick and they got a really good player. I don't know that I would have been brave enough to do that shit, but they did.
You'd have been a little bit more strategic in your approach to it. I mean,
I would have been like, if I'm the GM and I had taken a kicker in the first round and my owner calls me and I'm like, hey, Drew, WTF, bro, what's going on? And I'd be like, let me walk you through the math. I'd have been like, that had to be some really persuasive math.
They wanted a guy that changes the platform for them. And to me, that's what your first pick should be. A guy who can change the platform for you. If he doesn't, it's ridiculous. Travis Elkin says, Amari Barno, I'm just not impressed with him. Yeah, I know he ran a fast 40. But that was a 40. When I watch him in the game, I do not see that speed. Cameron Thomas, okay.
He's been hurt this whole draft process. He just had his pro day. Put up some, I would say, good numbers, but like he just hasn't had an opportunity to improve his stock whatsoever. So
yeah, and it's just one of the things that I look at that I'm just like, I'm not so sure I'm so on certain people at this point. Like I'm not trying to even be hard, but it's just the reality of it. Now, to kind of switch gears a little bit, the Lions have signed another safety. I've already put it out there that this puts a hit on my idea of safety at 2.
I don't think
ironically, I said it puts a hit. I didn't say it eliminate. People took it as me saying it eliminate. I said it takes a hit.
Sure.
It's a difference. Okay. like it takes a hit, and that's a fair assessment to say. It takes a hit. The reality is let's be honest. This guy's he's been hurt a lot. If he's healthy, this would be cool.
Right. The Jared Davis argument.
I'm glad you not Brad. To be honest, Salty, if you could have got a player, okay, and the player works for you, you are not upset, bro. Nobody's upset when things go in a way that they don't expect it. So, for example, I remember when we took DeAndre Levy and people wanted other people. They didn't even want Levy, but Levy ended up performing and everybody went, oh my God, good job. DeAndre Levy. So if it work out for you, it's great. If it don't work out for you, then yeah, you're not going to be happy. But if I was Brad Holmes, I tell you what, if I'm going to ask my friend to come on. I have a friend that I've known well over 20 years. And every year he write down 5 picks that I say, if the Lions get these 5 picks, they'll be good players. And he's tracked it for over 20 years. And he said all the time, if you had been a general manager, y'all team would have won a few damn Super Bowls at this point because you are picking people that are not getting the respect that they do. And I'm like, I'm looking at how they work as a unit, not the individual. That's the difference. But what are your thoughts about the Lions signing Deshaun Elliott?
I kind of in line with the rest of the way that they've approached free agency. They want low cost players at positions that I think have underperformed, at least in the first year of the rebuild. And they are not committed to these guys. So I think everybody, if you look at the contracts that they've signed this year, re-signing current players or bringing in players like DJ Chark or Deshaun Elliott from outside the organization. I think that all these guys share some commonalities. They fit with the culture, and they are on cheap deals that do not tie the Lions organization to them at all beyond the season. So I wouldn't be surprised when the 2023 cap number goes up from the new television contract money if we see a lot of the guys that were signed this year cut, because their contracts are set up in order to have the greatest savings at that point in time, and they're just not married to these guys. And they've stated they want to build through the draft. And I think that something like Deshaun Elliott at safety says we're not reliant upon going into the season having to draft a safety. However, if the board falls the way that we would like it to fall, and one of the guys that we brought in or one of these safeties that we really like is there, we will happily take them. So yeah, I think they're just covering their bases.
Now, Entwine is in the building. What's going on, Entwine? And also Marcel Edwards says, well, I mean, if you can kick consistently 80 or 90 yards, you would be a top 5, if not number 1, no matter what. You are guaranteed points if your team can't get to the 20 or 30 for him to kick your I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's the uniqueness of it. Again, y'all got to understand. It sounds crazy, but it is what it is. And the mix says it's over for you, Luke. They are not taking the safety, basically. That's what it's over, Luke, for. But I just think, for me, when they made the signing, the first thing I thought about was, okay, he hasn't been healthy. That's one. 2, I am pretty much sure that they are done with the experiment of Will Harris at safety. So to the cornerback.
He's a I don't know. Did you see that article the other day?
Yes,
Safety or whatever.
Safety or whatever. Yeah, he's a corner safety. Yeah, he's a corner safety. So that tells me that he's moving. So at this point, I just look at Mr. Elliott as a backup. I think CJ Moore is out of here. I think a host of people is going to be out of here money-wise. And what you just talked about with the money, I think makes sense, because now, like you said, we're not married to him. I don't have to commit to him. I simply just have to do enough for them to have a person to fill in or come in as the third option in certain defenses. And to me, that does that. And if he can come out and perform it anywhere in that light, then he's doing a good job. Sure. But to me, I still think that Kyle Hamilton's the pick. It's just some of the wording that I heard is strange. And I go back and I look at last year's conversation. He gave us little subtle hints about the offensive line and stuff. And he was like, hey, we got Jared Goff, and we need the following thing. We need receivers and blah, blah, blah. And, he talked about everything else, but he never really touched on the offensive line spot. He just sat there and said, we can always use protection.
Sure. I mean, if you watch, I think it's Inside the Den, where they did that view from inside the war room last year, where when they end up taking Goff and Sewell. Yep. The way that Holmes reacted was like a kid who walks outside and his parents buy a new car. It was like, I was like, this is an adult, So
he was more excited when they predicted that it would be Waddles to the Dolphins, and they was like, and the Dolphins select Waddles. They started hugging then. Yeah, soon as the Dolphins made the pick. Yeah. So they knew they can get their guy, and I think that's the same thing here. Even though we're picking a little bit higher, I think like I said, I think he's going to always take the special talent. That he thinks it's a special talent. Now, I'm not ruling out edge rusher at all. I'm not. But last year, many of the people had us taking quarterback, had us taking receiver. You had a few people who towards closer to the draft started putting offensive linemen on the board for us in mock drafts. But for the most part, people just didn't buy that they were going to take another lineman. They said that it was too soon and everything, and I was like, okay. But again, that's just the reality of it. But to me, it does put a little hit on it in a way. I still don't think we got a valuable safety that we can care about. So let's move it. Let's switch it up a little bit, because now, since we're talking about the draft, and this is not about a player. Let me repeat this again. This is not about a player. All right. This is not. He says, "Give it up." What do you want me to give? The draft ain't happened. Everybody, you don't have to give up anything until the draft happens. Now, if the draft happened and they already drafted him, then obviously I got to give it up. But until then, it doesn't matter. He says, Luke, you had us in the playoffs last year. I did. And I think they lost, 6 games by a field goal or less. I did have us in the playoffs. But I also didn't count on us having so many injuries neither. And that hurt more than anything else. He said Jared Davis is elite. That's true. There's a video out there that's still up that literally says
Jared Davis is elite. Where is this that you're reading?
Right here, we gotta go back to the top. Where he says Jared Davis may not even make the team.
His contract is elite.
Yeah, I mean he may not.
He's
like
cheap as shit. But like the player isn't.
Yeah, I mean, and again, to me, I like Jared Davis. Everybody else don't gotta like him. I get it. I totally get it. But the same way they did this, they did the same talk about Slay. Slay went over there and performed. They did the same talk about Quandre Diggs. He went over there and performed. Mm-hmm. I'm cool with that. My thing is I like what I like. I encourage you to have the same. But for me, it isn't. Luke likes to live in his happy place. Let him think we're drafting Kyle Hamilton until it happens. I don't know. Because like I said, I've only gotten one pick wrong, right? But I also predicted that pick can only be wrong if you let this person stay there. And another thing that I don't hear no more, and you don't know this, Drew, but I remember after the first year of Matt Patricia, I was screaming, fire his ass, right? I was done. I'm serious. I was done. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was like, you just took over a team that was 9-7 and you won 6 games. You have to go. And those 6 games were not pretty. And people was like, man, no, it take 3 years to build a culture. 3 years, man. And I'm up here listening to Adam Brennan have an interview with Mario Warrior and Jason Kabinda, and they already talking about how the culture has changed. How he used to come to work thinking, oh, we probably not going to win that game. Whereas now he comes to work thinking, oh, we can win every game. And that's the effect of Dan Campbell. So I'm still waiting on those people who told me it takes 3 years for culture. You know, people love to credibility check opinions, but I'm still waiting on the people to show me that, because it don't take 3 years to change a culture.
I was surprised that they were able to change the way of thinking as quickly as they did.
Why? This ain't the first time it's happened.
Because you don't see it often.
Yeah, you do. It happened with the Jags. I did. Remember the Jags went out. They added
The Jags are picking one this year for the second year in a row.
No, they are picking one. But what I'm telling you is, it was a time where the Jags wasn't doing diddly squat, and they made one small adjustment. They added in it had the 2 big D tackles who was fully fledged, crazy, Stroud and Henderson.
Yeah. And
they culture changed. And then they had that other year where they added Calais Campbell and had another good year. And then for some reason they blew it all up. That was Tom Coughlin, stupid self. Then I can give you another example of where it switched around most recently. Hell, look at the Bengals. The Bengals went from bottom of the damn thing to the Super Bowl. And I'm not saying that that's the thing, even though I think that was a fluke year. Still, their confidence wasn't dead and the culture wasn't dead. It's happening more than we think. Seriously. It just do sometimes. Yeah, the Sextonville. That's what they was calling them, Sextonville. I knew it was something like that. I can't remember the name, but yeah, I've seen this culture switch, and it don't take long. I've seen the Dallas Cowboys going from hot garbage to another hot topic in 1 year. It's just so many. The bucket. I've seen so many do it. It does not take 3 years to change a culture. It doesn't. It takes a person who knows how to be a leader that people can like, and that's the first thing you got to do. You got a guy coming in here building a hill and taking radios out the goddamn locker room. Yeah, I'm gonna be upset too. You creating a hostile environment. So I'm just saying. But I ain't heard none of the people talking about that. I'm still waiting on those conversations. I'm still waiting on those and stuff. So we'll see what happens though. But this again is not about the player. This is about your coaching staff. We always talk about Brad Holmes and do you trust Brad Holmes? And what do you think about Brad Holmes, right? I never hear nobody talk about, do we trust this coach staff? Do we trust the offensive coordinator? Do we trust the defensive coordinator? Do we trust the head coach? And I think that's why I'm gonna pick it up with you, Drew.
Sure.
Do you trust Dan Campbell, Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn? Do you trust them? Now, keep in mind, this is a hard line question where you have to just simply say yes or no, then explain it, because sure. I want you, no caveats to this. Either you cold-heartedly trust them or you don't.
Well, I would say at this point I don't.
Okay, and I can respect it. Let's talk about it.
So the only reason is it's been a single year. That's it. So I was thrilled. So I'll start chronologically. So like when the Fords gave control of the team to Sheila, I was happy about that change.
I was too. I got cussed out about it, Drew. You should see I'm gonna go find a video and show you. They cussed me out, said that I was a fanboy, and I was like, "What? She know how to text? Them other people didn't even know how to text. Like, what the hell?" I was too excited.
Yeah, to be fair, like the Fords, like William Clay Ford and Martha Ford, to me always felt like the Lions were a line item on their balance sheet, and like they didn't really care about like the ins and outs of the team, and like just almost from the beginning with Sheila Ford Hamp, I think she approaches it completely differently. Like she's in the war room on draft night last year with Campbell and Campbell and Holmes, like on the phone with Sewell and like jumping up and down, thrilled with stuff. And like after the first win, she's in the locker room and they're jumping around, and you can tell by the look on her face that she's thrilled. So anyways, and then I really like the fact that she had the kind of like GM search that she had. She didn't just pick someone that like they knew each other from a country club or whatever it was, and that person became the GM. Like they actually had a search. I think she made a great pick for like who she wanted to run the team. And then they hired Dan Campbell, and I'm like, wait, the tight end from the Saints? Like, why would I be excited about a first-time head coach who wasn't even a coordinator before? So I was scratching my head. I had a lot of apprehension heading into the season about the coaching staff, and most of the coaching staff is former players. And so I thought, at least they are trying something different. I don't know what it is they're trying to do, but I appreciate the fact that it's not the same old thing that I have seen rebuild after rebuild after rebuild here. So then the losing happens like through 10 weeks or whatever. And then they finish the season, the last 7 games, pretty strong. And you start to hear like the player testimonials, and you see Sheila in the locker room, and then the draft happens, and like you get in this feedback, and I'm thinking, this is not something that I've seen before for the Detroit Lions. So no matter what this is, I'm kind of excited to see where it goes. Now they've got the draft coming to them in 2024. Something else just happened that was great for the city. I can't remember what it was. They got the draft in 2024.
The draft is coming in 2024. They are also
Hard
Knocks.
That's it.
And
Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
And so I think that so most of the time what I've thought about Hard Knocks is it's like, I don't really want to watch the ineptitude of these teams on television. But like the thing that I think is different about Detroit now is that this is going to be a window for the people who are not in that locker room to say, this is how they're doing things in Detroit now. And I think that is going to be an advertisement to other players in the NFL that like, oh, this is what I'm getting a glimpse of what Detroit's like. Let me text my buddy who I went to college with, who's on the Lions, and see if this is like legit or bullshit, like made up TV, And so I think that it's going to help. There it is. The chat's helping me out. Remember. Thank you. So, I think it's going to just help highlight the positivity in the rebuild that's going on for the Lions. And I think that that's going to be another good positive thing. But I need to I'll be 40 in July. So like I have gone through enough of these rebuilds now where I'm just like, I'm going to need to actually see the wins come before I'm going to be like, Brad, you can make whatever pick. And I'm going to say that you think it's good.
And I'm not mad at you.
Yeah.
Let me address this. So Jets again, exactly. So I said the Bengals didn't take 3 years to change. When you look at the Bengals cultural change, if you think I was referring to the Bengals over the last 3 years, when I bring up that and I say, look, they went from last to first to show you that there's a cultural change there. That was a short switch. But if you go to the Bengals before then, they were 2-14 before they got a head coach in Marvin Lewis who changed their culture in 1 year. And from there, they had success to keep on building. They wasn't always necessarily going to a Super Bowl or nothing like that, but they were a consistent freaking pain in the ass for a lot of the teams that they went against. And then they had some downtimes and stuff like that. So when I'm talking about this, keep in mind that I'm still going through history over this time where I can go back from years and show you where cultural change does not take 3 freaking years. It just does not. Now, have there been some situations where culture change took 3 years? Sure, but I can go back to the Rams. After McVay took over for Jeff Fisher, culture completely changed. Mike Vrabel took over for what the hell's that damn dude named in Tennessee?
Fisher.
No, it was
for Fisher.
No, I think he took over for a different. Was it Munch something? It started with an M.
Oh, the O-line coach.
Yeah, I can't think of his damn name. But culture change don't take 3 years, and at the end of the day, that's just a fact. It does not take 3 years. If you believe it do, more power to you.
I think on average, it takes more than, I mean, to build what I think that what the Detroit Lions coaching staff did in their first season on the job, and largely in roles that none of them had occupied before, they accomplished faster than what would have been expected by the NFL community. So to them, and for that reason, I tip my hat to them, my Ravens hat that everybody hates. But
hey, I told you I've been getting lit up. Like, bro, what's with this damn hat? I'm like, what hat? And it wasn't until I looked and I'm like, oh, okay.
Listen, I mean, like everybody else in chat, like I went through the losing with the Lions for as long as I could take it, and then I had to take a break, and I just wanted to watch something else. So this is what I picked. And so far, they haven't done much to win me back. So, but I do think they're trending in the right direction. So we'll see.
I mean, listen, I think it's fair. I think it's fair because I think your approach to it, and like I said, it's 32 teams. I hate when people be like, it's just got to be one. I get it. I love the loyalty and everything like that. But, some things is better in pairs, right? Like shoes, gloves, I just, I
Hard
get
to argue that. Yep.
I get it. I'm not completely so crazy about it. If you're talking ball, I can care less. That's all I care about. Ramon the New Age says, is Kirby Joseph out of Illinois starter material?
He's raw, but I think
they all gonna have to be starter material depending on where they're taken. I
mean, like last year, if you look at what the Lions did last year, I mean, they had St. Brown, Derek Barnes, Sewell, Malfanu at times. Like, they'll play young players. And I don't think there's a better learning experience than getting on the field and taking meaningful reps. So I think that the Lions are in a position to take and develop guys by actually putting them out there on the field and being like, this is what I want you to go do. Now actually go do it in a game, and then seeing if they can do it. So I think that whether or not he's a starter material, I kind of think is irrelevant because I think he's going to get the opportunity to do it.
Right. Steve-O says, in my opinion, when a team is winning, a good culture is part of it. But it's special to see a good culture when a team is losing like the Lions did last season. Now that's good culture. It needs to equal winning games. That's what he's been talking about. He's like, look, the culture part, I got that part fixed. I got guys in here who want to be here, who are, my guys. I had to wait 3 years of seeing Patricia's guys, and I'm like, I don't want no more excuses, y'all. He should have been fired year one. They fired Wilkes from the Cardinals. We should have followed suit. But no, we held on 3 years. He's got to change. I'm like, what are he changing from? Caldwell still had him at 9-7, even though it was a trash 9-7, and Caldwell wasn't special. But come on. But I do agree with you. They got to start winning games, and that's my point. That's why this year I'm not for the quarterback talk. If you're talking about winning game, now if you take the quarterback and you win it, okay, I shut the hell up.
The hat's not coming off. Sorry.
I told you. Listen, when I tell you my damn inbox got hit up, like, bro, what's with this damn hat? I'm like, what hat? Everybody hitting me up about this damn hat. They're like, man.
I'm kind of surprised that enough people put forth whatever minimal effort was necessary to email you about my hat. That kind of seems.
Listen,
I think you could spend your time better.
Listen, I just go, okay, Now, Jets Gang says, why did the Lions fire Anthony Lynn? I have a different view, but I'll let Drew give you his view.
I don't really know. Here's my supposition, and then Luke can correct me, but I don't think that the offense was. I think that there was a fundamental difference between the way that the plays are being called between Campbell and Lynn
Yep, that's
and
exactly.
he wanted Campbell. Like when my boss comes to me and says, "Hey, do something differently," even if I don't agree with it, my ass had better do it, right? And
Right.
so I think that's kind of a discussion that might have been had prior to, or somewhere during the season. And then you have, weirdly, Anthony Lynn on the sidelines with Dan Campbell calling plays, and now Ben Johnson's the offensive coordinator. So I think that it just was a difference of philosophy.
It was. And the biggest issue was you had other people who had a bigger voice who was saying, hey, we want Jamal Williams to be the starter. And Anthony Lynn was like, I think that it should be Deandre Swift. And on this particular debate, I agree. Deandre Swift should be the starter. No ifs, ands, and buts. You get the offense looks so much better, so much more explosive with Deandre Swift out there. And that's just the truth. But that's why he got fired, and that's why he's no longer here, because he didn't agree with that approach. He wanted to do some things different. And when you got more people in the room who was telling you X, Y, and Z, you're going to have a problem. And the mix says you just got to go down with the ship like everybody else, bro.
That's so stupid. I'm not trying to be mean, but like that's if everyone else is jumping off a bridge, you jump to it, be like, no, I'm not fucking jumping off that bridge. Are you serious? I'm gonna stay at my feet on the bridge. That's where it's safe.
Like it don't make no sense. Like, come on. They fired him because it was predictable that they called the entire 3-and-out series before they did each play. I don't think predictability played into it. I think he was asked to do something he didn't really want to do, and they realized he wasn't really want to do it. Anthony Lynn was, you know what? Then you do it. And
guys, everyone's gonna have to get used to the hat. I'm sorry. I mean, you're just gonna have to come to Jesus about it here.
Hey, man, that you study the game says Swift low has to be managed properly. I don't think so. Freaking use them. Use them. No, man, listen. We gave more leeway to Theo Reddick than Swift. This is BS.
So here's my whole thing on Swift. Like, I don't know. I don't think that he's the kind of guy that you just give the ball to, say, 25, 30 times a game. But like if he's not hurt and he's handling 2/3 of the workload, I'm fine.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Listen, I put it this way, right?
Mm.
I put it this way. If you come out and you throw a screen pass to Jamal Williams,
yeah.
Do you think the defense is going to panic to get to Jamal Williams?
No.
Okay. But when you put in, and it's one of the reasons why you started seeing more and more plays with people like Amon-Ra St. Brown in the backfield, when you put in Swift, it changes it, because you don't know if he's catching the ball at the backfield. You don't know if he's running it. And to me, the reason that people do load management on any running back is because they want to save the running back. But in my case, damn that, use them. Use these running backs. Hell, don't load management. Balance it out with some other players, but run it. Look at all the teams who have had success, even if it wasn't Super Bowl success. Even the Browns, between two running backs were consistently running that thing with Chubb and Hunt. And you go through and you look at the Tennessee Titans with what is his damn name? Henry.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry and the guy they used to have behind him. I can't think of his damn name. Thank you.
Foreman.
So you're talking about this constant split, but they still rode the workhorse. And when you go back into the old days, which for the most people, they hate when I bring this shit up, but the history is our teacher. You didn't have these problems. When you had these games where you can just get a ball to the running back, let them run. Most recently, Adrian Peterson, Ezekiel, let them run a damn ball.
Deandre Swift is none of the people that you just named. I mean, like, he is not Derrick Henry.
But it's not about him being any of those people. It's about what he does for the offense. The offense is more explosive under Deandre Swift than it is under Jamal Williams. And I'm sorry, I saw a play last year where Jamal Williams tried to run it to the outside and got caught before he can even accelerate back up to his speed. Whereas I saw Swift cut to the outside and he took it to the house. And the reality is, it's a difference in how it's approached with people. That's all I'm saying. Now, if you believe that Jamal Williams should be the starter, I think you've lost your damn mind.
That's not what I said. I said I think that.
No, I'm talking about the fan base, the listeners. If think that, I think they lost their mind. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe that to be the case. But go ahead.
Salty makes a point here. We have three really decent running backs. I think that's a good point. And like, to be honest, they have more than three. They have. I would say their depth chart going into the season is Swift, Williams, Reynolds, And then you have Igwebuike and I think Jamar Jefferson, if I'm not wrong, who was a late round pick last year, that all contributed. And he's right. We have a good line. And I think that that's going to make them all better at what their job is as a running back. And I think Swift gives you the most matchup problems for an opposing defense. And so I do think that he should be out there more, but he's also proven that he's not. I think that it's proven that he's just going to have injuries. And therefore I think that you have to manage him a little bit more than you would say a Derrick Henry, who's the guys that you highlighted, Derrick Henry, Adrian Peterson. And I know that Henry got hurt this last year, but over the course of their career, they've been remarkably consistent not being injured. And it's one of the reasons why
maybe they both been hurt. We're not gonna act like
everyone gets hurt, but like it's not like, I mean, Swift will miss like 2-3 games here.
How long you think Swift been on this team?
He got drafted like in the second round like 2 years ago, but like I'm not giving Deandre Swift a second contract.
What? Oh my, Drew.
Why would I do that? Drew. There's a Deandre Swift in every draft.
Who's the Deandre Swift in this draft?
Well, I think that you could probably, I think that if you wanted to, you could take Kenneth Walker in this draft. I think that what I would do, I'm not going to re-sign Deandre Swift.
I just love this approach that
James Cook. I like that pick.
James Cook could be a good option.
Sure. So, I think that you could get James Cook. I mean, you might even be able to trade down from 66 and get James Cook. He could still be on the board. And that's the point, is that like, even if James Cook is not Deandre Swift, if he is 80% of Deandre Swift and you can get him in the third round, I don't know that the offense really loses anything. And if you do get a guy 2-3 years from now in the second round, if you've got an extra draft pick, or if you got someone, you feel like you need the matchup and you want to take him at that position, that's fine. But you just draft him. Don't sign him to a second contract.
Yeah.
20 carries for Swift is doable. Yeah, absolutely.
But he wasn't even getting that. He wasn't even getting that. He was getting less than that.
So, but if you, if you cross out on Sands' quote right here, if you cross out the word carries and just put touches, that's fine with me. I don't need him.
But that's not okay with me, because I'm sick of this. I've watched it with Jamal Williams, and I'm telling you, the difference is this: Jamal Williams can take the same run, same blocking, and everything, and get you 5-10 yards.
Sure, great.
Swift will get you a touchdown.
Okay, maybe, yeah.
No, maybe this is reality. You want to be able to see it. Go to the Pittsburgh Steelers game.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody said he couldn't carry the load
and didn't win. Yeah,
that's on Swift. Nobody talked about who
He's
wins.
out there participating. It's not all of them,
right? But we're not talking about that. You're moving the goalpost. The thing I'm trying to get you to understand is that we're talking about, is this guy somebody that should be getting more carries? In your case, you said put that to touches. That's not enough. You have a weapon, use it. And to me, I get what Study the Game is saying about, you don't want to use the workout. That's not the point. Mm-hmm. It's not about using up your good player. It's about saying, look, you need to be able to use a player that they fear. Nobody fears Jamal Williams when he's back there. I love Jamal Williams, but they're not sitting back there going, be careful, he can go the distance. When Swift come back there, they change. These are intangibles. And to me, mm-hmm. I want to get him the ball more. I think it should be Swift getting the bulk of the carries, and then Jamal Williams. That's how it should be, in my opinion.
So here's the way I look at it. If he is out there, if Deandre Swift is out there on the field, if you're going to give him 25, 30 touches a game, those touches have to come from somewhere. So like what I am saying is, I don't mind with him being somewhere in, say, the 20 to 25 range, because that's 5 more touches that maybe Amon-Ra St. Brown has, or DJ Chark, who we don't know how he will perform yet. Or what if TJ Hawkinson comes back this year and is finally healthy and has his career year? If Deandre Swift proves that he is the best offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions, sure, then I'm on board, Luke. But what I am saying is, I am not going to feed that guy just because, and then whatever reason you want to list out from there, right? Like, if it's going to be game dependent, it's going to be matchup dependent, and I'm not going to force feed him because I don't think that he is Christian McCaffrey, who is just a nightmare for whomever is going to try and guard him. He's more of a wide receiver than he is a running back anyways. But like,
who's a receiver more than a running back?
Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, I thought you were saying Swift was. I'm like, nah.
No, but like,
I think
the strength of Deandre Swift's game is the fact that if you get him the ball, whether it's a check down or like a design pass play where he leaks out of the backfield, and you can get him one-on-one in space against a linebacker or a smaller corner, I do like that matchup. That's why he's out on the field. But I'm not going to force that offense to Deandre Swift that way. If I have a matchup where I like DJ Chark, I'm going to go to DJ Chark. Or Hawkinson has a matchup, I'm going to go to TJ. So I'm not saying that he can't get 25 touches a game, but I think it's going to depend on the opponent, the situation, and not just the fact that he's the best running back of the stable.
Let me ask you a question. Of all the people that you are going to that you're talking about, right? Of all those people that you're talking about, the different running backs, and you don't want to give them these carries, and you want to give them a second contract and all of that other stuff, which I just find absolutely absurd. The New England Patriots have lived and died by the run, and nobody talks about it. They're so caught up in Brady's ass, they don't realize that that's what happened.
Yeah, and they rotate in and have year to year
so
a bunch of different running backs.
So why not rotate them in, but make Swift the starter? So
and to my mind, like
Jamal Williams has been the starter. And what I'm finna do, if I can show you, hold on, I'm trying to set it up so you can see it.
Now, while you're doing that, I'm gonna do something too. So
yeah, all right. So that's the first thing I want you to see.
Okay.
What percentage of snaps do you think he took last year?
Well, I'm gonna look that up right now. Actually,
67%, according to ProFootballReference.com.
Pro Football Reference says Deandre Swift took 67% of the snaps that he was available for.
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, now I'm with you.
All right, which they said was basically 560 snaps, right?
Okay, yep.
All right, now, what's his damn name? God, what's the other running back? Damn it.
Jamal Williams, Corey.
Thank you. Jamal Williams. I'm like, what is the other running back's name?
How quickly we forget, right?
Dude, listen. Ever since I got COVID, my fucking brain just don't click.
I hear that. It's like we don't know the long-term repercussions quite yet. So,
dude, I be forgetting the smallest man. Dude, I don't forget my kids' measurements, what time they've been born. It's weird stuff. I'm like, why I can't remember it.
You don't want to do that.
It's a bit of a challenge, but we working through it. All right.
Good.
So, what percentage does they say that Jamal Williams took? Are you looking at it?
Oh, let me see if I can find him real quick here. Position halfback.
Oh, you know what? I don't know why I'm doing it. I could bring this up on the damn screen.
Yeah, go ahead, do that. Do that.
like I can show this.
Oh, I got the defense here.
It says Swift was running back one when he was healthy. No, not to start the season. He wasn't. They started the first game with Jamal Williams at the starter, and he was a starter up until he got hurt. And as soon as Jamal Williams got hurt, they played Swift more. And then once Jamal Williams got healthy, they put him back in the lineup.
Okay.
You know,
and
like
that really hurt your feelings, apparently.
Oh, I was pissed.
Sure.
I was livid. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Because what irritated me about it was why are you doing? They did that after he had just had a monster game. Like he just beast mode against Pittsburgh, and I'm like, why are you now taking him out? Like for what? And to me, I just want to go here so we can see the difference in the carries and stuff. All right, where we at? All right, we start right here. Let me go get down Deandre Swift. I hope everybody can see this, because to me, wasn't expecting to go down this damn rabbit hole. Thank you, Drew.
Not my fault. You're trying to prove a point to me. All I said is I wouldn't.
No. What I'm saying is, and I'm not even trying to prove a point to you. I'm just saying that he needs to be the starter, because there's a difference.
I'm not arguing that point.
All right, let me see. Well, wait a minute. What are you arguing then?
I'm saying that if Deandre Swift is healthy, he should be taking 2/3 of the offensive snaps at running back. I just don't think that I think that the way that the NFL is developing here and the way that Detroit is bringing in skill position players, like they bring in DJ Chark, he's a pass catcher. They're going to get TJ Hawkinson back, he's a pass catcher. Like, I think that the offense is going to look more pass happy next season, and I think that if Deandre Swift once again is healthy, like he should be out there for 2/3 of the offensive play, the plays that they call. But like I am not going to say like we have to have Deandre Swift touch the ball 25 times a game as a staple of what they're trying to do offensively.
Okay.
No, I mean I think that it's very clear that Deandre Swift is A, the best running back on the Detroit Lions, and B, the number one starter on this team. And like, I think that Jamal Williams has a role on the team, but it's specialized. And I think that, is it Corey Reynolds, that if there is an injury, he is your insurance policy, but like, but DeAndre Swift offers you more offensively than either of those two guys or any other running back on the roster. So when I went through and I was looking at this, I wanted to see, based on the running backs that were Craig Reynolds, thank you,
that were in the league, I wanted to see what it was looking like. All right.
Okay.
So we know that Jonathan Taylor has a running mate in Nyheim Hines, I think his name is Hines. And we know that Nick Chubb has a running mate.
Yeah.
Pretty much they all have a running mate.
Yes.
And the one thing I noticed with all these teams who have a running mate is these teams, like Jonathan Taylor, by the time you find Nyheim Hines on this list, it's going to be a while, right? Sure. And by the time you go through and you look at the running mate to Joe Mixon, it's going to be a while.
Mm-hmm.
And the same can be said for a lot of these people on this list, even Nick Chubb, right? Right. So you see all the different peoples and it's spaced out. Like it's not even close. It's not even close. But watch this, because I do know that, what you're calling got hurt, but I bet you their numbers is still close. So right now, at 153 rushing attempts, is Jamal Williams.
Yeah.
For 601 yards. And DeAndre Swift for 151. There's no way in hell it should be this close.
Well, I mean, so I agree, right? Like I'm on the Swift for 2/3 of the offensive snaps bandwagon, but like DeAndre missed some games and maybe the coaching staff just believes in more of like a running back by committee approach, regardless.
What he does, he comes from that Parcells tree. That's why they won't be a pass happy team this upcoming year. They're going to always be a run first team. The Parcells didn't do too much of that passing shit. Like he passed, but it wasn't like he was run first. So he said, what do you mean? They should be run first. The last time we had success, we was a run first team.
That doesn't mean the next time that we're going to be successful, it should be running.
Well, hold on, wait. Let's just look at it from a different perspective. For the past 12 years, we've been a pass first team. What success we had there?
Not much.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. History got to roll itself back around some kind of way, right?
Well, I mean, I think that having an effective running game is something that the Lions should have. I don't know that you should say that. I guess what I would say is that I believe that the NFL in its entirety is moving more and more to a pass happy league where it's going to be, you're going to see Jared Goff. I mean, Jared Goff threw the ball on average like 34, 35 times a game last season. And I would bet you that is closer to like 40 or 45 this year.
Okay. Yeah, but I think the thing that I'm pointing out is, like, I'm not saying that what you're saying is crazy. I'm saying that, one, we already know they're going to go more pass happy. As long as fantasy football exists, you need something to get it popping. But DeAndre Swift right here, for all practical purposes, played in 13 games, right? And he played in 13 games. Jamal Williams played in 13 games. And to me, even with them missing games, I'm still up here looking at two fucking running backs who touches is too close. Because he's coming in games that he he should be a compliment to DeAndre Swift, is what I'm pointing out. And that's what I'm saying. The offense is less.
Look at their, okay. So like, all right. So you've looked at their, like what, so this is rushing attempts, right?
Yes.
So like now incorporate like what they did in the receiving game.
Okay.
So like if Jamal Williams has 153 rushes and DeAndre Swift has 151, but DeAndre Swift has 50 catches and Jamal Williams has 5, that is another key clue as to how they're going to use these guys. And like DeAndre Swift's workload is a lot higher then.
Well, so one,
we've been successful.
We said who now?
The Detroit fan man says, "Wait, we've been successful?" Question mark.
Listen, it happens. I'm just saying.
Oh,
so this is Jamal Williams. He's got 26 receptions for 157 yards.
Okay.
And again, I think this is more of to do with the fact that this is not provided in our game when he's in. With Swift is out there. They still had the same games, 13% of the games. But the reason Swift workload on the passing game is going to look better because he's better at it, which I get it.
Yeah, and that's why it's triple the amount.
No, but it's triple the amount because we passed more. We was passing more at a certain point.
Right. So like,
which was
DeAndre Swift has 150 rushing attempts, and he has what? This is 62 catches, but they threw to him 78 times.
Mm-hmm.
So he is by far being used more than Jamal Williams, and then like I agree that,
but he's not
a good increase.
But he's not.
I mean, like if you look at numbers and then you're like, 68 and 15 are roughly the same thing, then sure, they're using him the same way as you're describing him. But if you look at numbers and say, hey, one of them has like 50 additional catches in the other one, yeah, there is a difference in that.
Yeah, it's a difference in the catching part of it. But again, this is more of why I'm telling you what they should have did. What they was doing early on was they was force feeding Jamal Williams, and then they would bring in Swift to pass the ball to him. And then what happened was Swift around here, the game against Pittsburgh, where he got a chance to take I don't even know what the hell is it even on here? He took majority of the damn snaps this game because I don't even think Jamal Williams played. I don't see it on here. Okay. I don't even see the snap count on there.
Well, then you might just be disappointed in how they divvy up these snaps between their running back.
I am gonna be disappointed because I'm telling you that this right here is you can't go on like who look at this.
Yeah,
that's not.
I mean, if it was me, I mean, if you cut Jamal Williams right now, you save $3 million. Like I would have absolutely been like, hey, DeAndre Swift, we're gonna play out his rookie deal, maybe franchise him one time. Or whatever, I'm cutting Jamal Williams to get $3 million, and I'll draft a running back in round 5. That's how I would have done it.
Yeah, but I think our running back situation is cool. But I just wanted you to see.
It doesn't sound like you think that they're cool. It
no. I think the running back situation is cool. What it sounds like is I think that the way that they're utilizing the running backs is the problem. The whole entire argument originally was about how they're utilizing them. And I'm saying, look, this guy should not have more carries than this guy. They both played 13 games. This guy should not have more carries. I mean, like,
okay,
it just should not. I mean, look at the first down.
How many more carries carries should DeAndre Swift have than Jamal Williams?
I'll show you. I'll give you a perfect example. Let me go. I got to scroll down and give you my example. Hold on, okay? Yeah, let me get down just a little bit. Let me see. Where is he at? Where is he? It's probably on the next damn page.
Jamal Williams is huge in our locker room for our culture, though. It's a good point.
I have no problem with that. He can still be that. He just can't be the primary running back. He should not be starting the games. That's the problem. He should not start the game. So let me scroll down. All right, there go Kareem Hunt. You see that?
Where is he?
Right here.
He is. Yep.
All right, 386 yards, 78 carries.
Yeah.
Right.
Can we take a look at the difference in Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb's passing numbers?
I don't care about the passing numbers.
I do care about the passing numbers because it speaks to how they're utilized on the team.
So for you want for the benefit of you, I'll go there.
Oh, I appreciate it. Luke, you're so generous.
You listen, what can I say? I do my best. All right, let me go back. How you got this thing to go backwards? Me and computers don't get along. Oh. Let me get up here. Where you at, dude? Where's Nick Chubb at? Did I pass him already?
I don't know. You probably can't break this down by team, can you?
I don't know if they're gonna let me. No, I don't see no way.
I see year. Scroll up a little bit further.
There go Nick Chubb. There you go.
Found him.
All right, Nick Chubb, 228 rushing attempts. All right, so let's see if they show his stats. Oh, this is fucking terrible. Oh,
you gotta click on stats.
Yeah, I was like, Drew. Yeah. All right. What do you want to see again? I'm sorry.
His receptions. So I see 1, 3, 1, 3, 2, 2, 2.
Let me get to the bottom because it should be. It's not even totaled out.
All right.
Oh, so here it is. Here it is, right here.
Yeah.
92 receptions, 92 receptions, 751
No, that's
yards.
92 in his career. He had 20.
Oh shit! I gotta go up. Yeah, I gotta go up. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
20 receptions, 174. Kareem Hunt. Let me put you over here.
Joseph Murdoch. The only reason I said to cut Williams is because you can save $3 million by doing it. I don't care if they cut any of the other running backs in order to make room for some rookie, but I'm not drafting a rookie if I'm 5 deep at running back.
22 receptions, 174 yards.
Oh, okay. So they basically caught the same amount of passes out of the backfield. Okay, so if that disparity was something like, if Kareem Hunt had 30 more catches than Nick Chubb, I would say that like they're going to bring in Kareem Hunt when it's like passing situation, as opposed to first. But that
to me is a tell to the team. That's why I hated Theo Reddick. Every time Theo Reddick came in, they knew we weren't running him. They knew it. Sure. Nobody saw Theo Reddick and went, "Oh, they running." No, nobody's doing that. When you bring in Deandre Swift, you don't know if it's a run or a pass. And the difference is, in this case, again, he only played 8 games. To be fair to Kareem Hunt,
oh sure,
and he played 14. But nonetheless, it's still 228 touches to 78. The margin between the running backs should not be so equal, because at that point it's for what? What are you rotating the running back so damn much for? You need a workhorse, and then the person to balance the workhorse out. That's why in Dallas they have Ezekiel Elliott, who's the workhorse, and then Tony Pollard, who balance them out. Even though I think Tony Pollard should be the starter at this point. You
would love watching Ravens games because they have 3 deep at running back and they give all those guys touches.
Well, the Ravens, the year that Lamar Jackson won MVP and they went to the playoff, I told everybody like, they didn't do that because of Lamar. Oh, you're crazy. I'm like, yeah, okay. And in the minute that Mark Ingram was gone and y'all was down to just what's his name, Bradley or Gus Edwards? Edwards, I think his name was. Yeah. It got real interesting. Yeah, real. And y'all had jobs, so. But even during that year, majority of the carries went to Mark Ingram first.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So without me even looking at it, I remember just from watching games, majority of the carries went to him first, and they had the other guys sprinkled in. The Lions, for some odd reason, think that it's brilliant to just have these guys be so close in touches. I don't agree with that, and it could be because of what happened with Lynn, and the other people who wanted other stuff going on, but. I'm just putting it out there, you know what I'm saying? So, let me hit another topic, because I got a lot that I need to touch on.
Salty, you got to study. You got to study your divisional opponents. You got to do that at least.
And you know what? I realized that I've been so caught up in trying to break this damn code. I haven't been paying attention to our division opponents. I'm gonna start doing it more often. It says, look, William already, Luke, stop. Lamar rushed for over 1,000 yards and almost passed for 4K. Don't say it wasn't because of Lamar. That's just goofy. No, William, I'm not. You go and look at that team. The minute, even in the playoffs, the minute they shut the run game down, he was dead in the water. Mm-hmm. That's truth. I'm Drew, you're a Ravens fan. You watched them games.
Yeah, I've watched all their games.
Is that not an accurate statement?
I would prefer to go back and have studied what happened in that game before I speak to it without remembering off the top of my head.
What year was it? Just what year was it? You tell me, I'll go find it.
I have no idea. I'm sorry. This is something that I'm terrible at in football. Like, I can't remember individual games.
Listen, trust me. I don't expect you to. I don't. Yeah. It's okay. Trust me. Lamar Jackson, that was the year he won MVP, right?
It's like, was that 2019, 2 years ago?
He won it 2021. Wait, that can't.
No, it was
2020.
That was last 2020. Season. Okay, 2020, sure.
Yeah. Yep. So it was. Wait, hold on. Wait. Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson name 2019. Damn it! I hate how they do this. So it's 2019 season. All right. So I just got to go to the 2019 season. Yeah, that's when I got to go to the 2019 season. That's all you got to do. Let me see. So we'll go 2019 Ravens season. All right.
Salty, that's insane.
What do you say?
That they should draft Malik Willis, which is clearly nuts.
Who, the Ravens?
No, the Lions should draft Malik Willis over Aiden Hutchinson, which, I mean, I'm not a fighter, but I mean, those are like, let's go to the parking lot kind of words. So,
all right. I think I got it. Can you still see them on the screen, or do I got it still down?
I just see your avatar. I don't see that.
All right, so I'm effing up the church's money. My bad, people. All right, here we go. Just for the benefit. I'm not, again, I don't just say shit because I just don't got nothing to do. I just remember things, and I could be remembering it wrong. But I'm telling you, if you go through and you look at most of these games, right? You can see the rushing is there. They're killing them in the rushing, right?
Yep.
Like it's there.
I think they set an all-time NFL record for most yards as a team rushed in a season that year.
I wouldn't doubt it. But when they got to this goddamn playoff game, when they met Tennessee.
Sure. So let me ask you this then. So you've said that like a team needs to have a very strong running game, and that should be like, let's say, the foundation of their offensive philosophy. So the Ravens.
What I'm saying is not that a team needs to have a strong running game. That should be the philosophy. What I'm saying is every aspect of football is team based, right? So you need all the aspects to work. Otherwise, you become one dimensional. The problem with the Lions is, for the longest, everybody knew we was throwing the ball. No, there was no running back nobody was afraid of. Nobody that they felt threatened by. The last running back we had that they felt threatened by got 100 concussions, and that was Javid Best. They was afraid of Javid Best because he can do so much with the ball. So that was the issue right there. He can do so much with the ball.
Let me address somebody here. Blue and Silver says Drew loves Lamar Jackson but dislikes Malik Willis. Am I right? That's 100% correct because they're different players.
Yeah, I mean, that says it all.
I mean, the comp for Malik Willis is Lamar Jackson, which I don't like. Now, Lamar Jackson runs a lot, but I think that if you ask Lamar Jackson, he would say, I would prefer to throw from a pocket. He's not out there looking to run. That's the difference. Like Malik Willis, whether it was in college or in the draft process, has not demonstrated to anybody that he can make the kind of throws in the NFL that he's going to be required to make. He can throw it a long ways. He can run very fast. But like if I need him to throw a 15-yard out with anticipation, I don't know that he can do that, and that's the difference.
Well, y'all didn't hear that from me. So I know that we have YouTube enforcement out here. So but I'm going to agree with him. so take it to the bank. All right, Drew, you looking?
Yes.
All right, this is what I remember from that game. I remember Lamar Jackson being put in a shitty situation.
Yeah.
And as you can see, he threw the ball 59 times. That's also another thing that I noticed when quarterbacks throw the ball more than like 40-some times, you're probably losing that game. You're doing too much. But look right here. They could not get going running for shit. They could not. And they started running him more in an attempt to get some type of run game. But by that point, it didn't even matter. They had already shut the run down and put it on the shoulders of the quarterback, and they was like, if the quarterback run it, we don't care. Now you flip it to over here, they ran that damn thing. And they threw the ball only 6 times.
Right.
For 13 yards and a touchdown. But they ran it 30 times. And to me,
Ryan Tannehill ran it 6 times. He threw it 14 times.
I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. He threw it 14 times. To
your point, it's not a lot.
Right. But it's not a lot. Right. So I'm just saying. So what I'm saying is they were more committed to the run. And what the defense did was they came into it and they said, stop these two. Stop these two and make this one beat us because he can't do it. And then that's what happened. They put it all on him, and it was I don't care. No quarterback should throw the ball damn near 60 times. That's not normal. I hate it when Stafford would throw the ball 45, 50 times. They had that guy throw Jim Caldwell. Everybody want to praise Jim Caldwell. Had that man throw the ball with a broke finger 30-something damn time, almost 40 times. That's crazy. With a broke finger. And then when you go and look at how many times he ran the ball, it's even more upsetting when you realize it's 11 rushing attempts. And a game that was damn near one possession the whole time until it got out of hand. So, I mean, William, I'm not saying that I'm nuts. I'm just telling you that's what happened. If you look at last year too, if you look at last year too, no rushing attack, and Lamar looked a real suspect. And it's not just that. You can go to the game against the Lions, right? Let's go to that game against the Lions, and you will see. And it's another thing I noticed with the Lions. The Lions was smacking Lamar Jackson. They was hitting the shit out of Lamar. They was hitting Lamar. They was getting to Lamar regularly. But again, Romeo Core was out there. The people was healthier at that point when they came around to it.
Romeo Core, a terror of the NFL.
Oh, he don't got to be a terror. I mean, hell, who's the terror of the NFL for the 2000 Ravens? Now, tell me that. I'm just saying.
No, but that doesn't just because they don't have it.
Yeah, so it's rough. It's what I'm saying. But like when you come, where is it at? Oh, this is the wrong damn year. I need to move up a year.
It's tough when you got the wrong year.
I mean, cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Rick James.
All right, here we go. Detroit Lions game, right? A game that we know came on a long ass field goal, but even in this game, I believe Mark Ingram was gone by this point.
Yes.
Let me go down here.
If he was in Houston at this point, maybe New Orleans.
And all right, so again, 7 attempts, 58 yards of rushing by the quarterback. He threw the ball 31 times. He got a touchdown and interception. He got sacked 4 times for the people who say we can't get to the quarterback. But where is the running backs over here? All right, so right here. They with Latavius Murray. Wow, Murray. What the hell is wrong with me? Latavius Murray. Let's see. You got Taysom Williams, and they was not able to run the ball. And this is the difference. This is the difference right here. The Lions were able to stuff that, and then he started scrambling, and they were still on his head because he couldn't run the ball. And if you go through this whole season, you're going to see that was what teams started doing. They just said, kill the run and make this quarterback beat you, because without that rushing attack, we don't worry. But when he had Mark Ingram and Edwards, and it was that other running back whose name I forget, but he was way more effective, because now we got to worry about this run. You can do the damn read option. You had options, but when they shut that run down, it got real for them. And that's not me making it up. That's just me pointing it out. But to bring it back to us trusting the coaching staff, to bring it back to that, because I kind of got off track once you said the running back. They pulled me that way. I wasn't trying to go.
Yeah, you're passionate about it.
It says, Luke, our game, they literally didn't have a running back left. Gus Edwards, J.K. Down were both hurt. They had to get 2 bad running backs to come back. What's your point? They couldn't run the ball. I love you, but my point is,
Luke doesn't believe in things like talent, or the fact that, like,
I never said I don't believe in talent. I said that the Lions' issue is not talent.
Also the Ravens had lost Ronnie Stanley for the year, and their offensive line was beat
I feel you.
Yeah, it was just for what they want to do on offense, like that was an apocalypse of terribleness. So yeah, I mean they had a really poor. They kept trying to do what they wanted to do. They just weren't able to do it effectively last season.
And only thing I was pointing out was, if you look at those teams who have a run game, it helps and changes everything. And the year that he won MVP is what I said. The year that he won MVP, everything was going great because they had 2 running backs who was running wild. Yeah. And they got to the playoffs, and the Tennessee Titans was like, nope. And they were sent home swiftly. The MVP.
Sure. I mean, but like this year, I mean, like, you have a good point, right? That is what happened, And so this year, it was the Bengals out of the AFC and not the Bills or the Chiefs. And so it's like the best, quote unquote, best team in whatever conference every year doesn't make it to the Super Bowl or win the Super Bowl. I mean, Aaron Rodgers has been a top 5-10 quarterback in the NFL for better part of 2 decades, and he's only got one ring, and like you would think that just like over the long haul of that organization being, I mean, they don't draft poorly. But they don't sign anybody in free agency, and like they tend to take care of their own guys when it comes to like re-signing players, and they just haven't done that well enough to get them. I think he won a Super Bowl and was in another one, but I think that's the Super Bowl experience for the Green Bay Packers in the Aaron Rodgers era. So my point is that it takes a lot of things to go your way and for you to be really good in order for like to bring
No,
home.
And that's fair. But again, keep in mind, you're talking to somebody, you know what I do for a living. So
yeah,
I'm always looking to see like what's the small detail that I'm missing. So to me, that's what I noticed when he won the MVP. I was like this, and you know what? I remember the year that Cam Newton won the MVP. I was telling people, I was like, hey, how did that happen? And they were like, because he had all these rushing yards. And I was like, but he had 9 games with 180 yards or less and no touchdown, like a touchdown or less. And I'm not just talking about like, I'm not talking about like, oh, where how many he had rushing? I'm like, none. Like he had literally that year he won MVP, 9 games with 180 yards passing. I said that defense and run game was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. The defense was oh my God that year. So a lot of times I'm not. Again, y'all gonna learn. I don't go with the group. I watch this game and I'm watching it with my two eyes.
You really don't go with the group. You really don't.
I mean, but Drew.
Yeah,
you know that's the truth, though.
I know it's your truth.
You know, I really don't go with it.
Yeah,
you know, and even Steve says because they was 15-1 in 9 of those games. 9 of those games, he had 1 to 0 to 1 touchdowns in those games, literally.
I mean,
and they was winning by double digits.
I think that if before the season started each year and you say you were going to put a bet on one of these sports books and you had to bet to who was going to win the Super Bowl and you said, I'll take the quarterback on the team with the best record, you'd win more often than not.
I mean,
whether they played well or not. Like to your point, right? So like you're saying that like Cam Newton didn't have the stats across the whole season that you would prefer an MVP candidate to have in an MVP winning season, right?
I'm saying that if you're telling me he's the most valuable player, I know he ran the ball a lot. I know it. But if you're telling me he's the most valuable player, I wouldn't have expected to see multiple games where he never got to the end zone. like I wouldn't have expected that. And yet they're still winning by double digits. Where did that come from? You know what I mean? Like they was running the ball. He was part of the run, don't get me wrong, but they was running the ball really good. And the defense was really good. And I'm just saying, when I look at our team, I'm looking at things that I'm saying are sustainable, because I can go and look at the Lions in 91. Eric Kramer stats were not great, but when asked to not lose the game for us, he made the passes. And I was like, okay, cool. But nobody ever's going to go and say Eric Kramer is one of the greatest quarterbacks in Lions history. Nobody's ever going to say no stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, so that's what I'm saying. And it's when it comes to this coaching staff, when I talk about, do we trust the coordinator? Do we trust the head coach? That's what it's boiling down to, because we are at a point now where we all have in our mind who they're taking that to. And if they take the person that you think they're going to take, great. And if they don't, great. You still have to root for this team. And two, I disagree. I think you still have to root for this team. But 2, you still have to trust them enough to say, hey, they can do the job. We can talk about Brad Holmes and what we trust from him as it is. I respect your response where you say, hey, I don't trust him. It's only been 1 year. And I think that's fair. I trust Dan Campbell. I trust Aaron Glenn.
Oh, okay.
Aaron Glenn.
You're going to get 1 more year to trust him, I think. So I hope that you put a lot in it this year.
Well, no, when I say I trust him because the one thing I can tell you was they made the necessary adjustments to start to get better. And that's when they realized we should be running the ball more versus passing it. We the first game I went to, they passed way too much. And I'm like, yo, the freaking 49ers couldn't stop our run neither. You should have ran with them. You know? Like, you know, you could have did it. Shout out to you, Tim. Tim said, I'm still here switching to the big screen. Appreciate you. But you should have kept running the ball, and I see this too often. So I trust what they're doing. Ben Johnson, it's gonna be his first year. What you want me to do with that? I can't.
I don't know. With that. I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, I mean, he's here. We are, another first-time coordinator, but on this staff that doesn't really seem to affect them all that much, to be honest. I mean, like, they seem to be quite proficient at, like, and competent at what they're, that they're being asked to do. And like the water cooler talk around the NFL, from what I've heard, is that Ben Johnson is a genius, and so I hope that the season starts off and like you see his genius, quote unquote, play out, via the players on the field, and so because I do think coaching can elevate the play on the field.
Coaching is everything.
I agree with you.
That's why talent for me is not the issue. I need my coaching to be above the talent.
Yeah, but if it was coaching with bad talent, then the coaching was good, and then you added good talent and replace bad talent with good talent and had the same coaching, that's better. So I mean, like that's my point is that.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I'm just saying that I have seen a lot of bad teams with good coaches win, though. I mean, hell, the Bears is one of them with Matt Nagy. So I hate to be that guy, but let's be honest there, okay? I've seen it both ways, and it ain't the only one I can name. So I've seen it before, but I've also seen poor coaching with tons of talent, and they like Jason Garrett with the Dallas Cowboys. He can never tell a person, I didn't have enough talent. You full of shit.
Oh no, yeah, you're right.
You're full of it. You literally did nothing with this team, and y'all will win the division constantly, be in the playoffs, get home field advantage, and swiftly exit it out. And it was all you. Your poor play calling, your poor game management. It was just you. And it showed. And right now, you get the same fan base mad at McCarthy because he's had these moments where it's like, oh, we're not dealing with this shit again. You're supposed to be different. So, again, and to me, when you look at what the Lions have did, they're telling us that talent is not our issue. The fact that they are giving everybody these 1 year try it out deals, they're telling you talent is not the issue. We trust our coaching. We had injuries and setbacks and with the new scheme and stuff, but talent was not the issue. And that to me was evident in the fact that 6 of those games that they lost.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, I think that the fact that they fight as hard as they do fight over the course of the 17 games last season is indicative of what they can do. And I think that if you then take that attitude and you still in players who are better than the current players on the roster, you have fewer of those close games go against you. So that is why I'm always going to be on the idea that if you're where the Lions are right now and you want to get to the other side of the river that is the one that you have to cross to win games, you got to build a bridge. Half that bridge is coaching, half that bridge is your roster. And so like I'm not just going to build half the bridge. I'm going to try and get the whole thing accomplished so that we can go over there and continuously win, because this team is not good enough. It's a 3-win team. And so like, yeah, I'll give them credit for the fact that they were in a lot of games last year and that like there were games that were, coin flips that went against them. That sucks. But like at the end of the day, the reality is they're a 3-win team. I would like it to get to the point where you don't have to have a coin flip situation in order to determine how good this team is and like have this conversation like, well, if the ball had bounced this way or if they missed this 66-yard field goal.
That's the weirdest kick to this day for it to bounce, doink straight up and then fall over. I was like,
I know,
what the hell?
Right? Like, so that is clearly like something that has never happened before, right? Like and it went against the Lions, which is a feel bad. So, and I get it, but like,
and you know what's funny? It's funny that you hear, because as a Ravens fan, I definitely want to put this out there. And I'll let you finish that thought. But
sure.
I remember going to read the Ravens news after that win. The fans let them have it. I mean, they were disgusted. They were like, yo, fire this dude, fire that dude, get this one to hell. How we barely beating the Lions?
Right.
So again, that's the culture part. But you did bring up something, which is one of our questions that I wanted to bring up, which is what must the Lions do to improve the defense overall?
So I'm going to give you an answer, but let me get through it. Okay.
Go ahead.
So I do think that I'm going to go back to talent. I think you need talent at every level of the defense. I am not as sold on some of our position groups as maybe some of the people in the chat are. I think that Romeo Okwara, Julian Okwara, and Charles Harris are not keeping David Bakhtiari up nights. I don't think that he's worried about facing that group.
I mean, I wouldn't.
The movie The Joker was quite difficult to watch, actually. So
no, I think he's talking about Deshaun Elliott, they call him the Joker.
Oh, I think that he's a fine signing, but I think it's for depth. I think that it's not going to prevent the Lions from drafting a safety at any point in the draft. And so I think that I would bet money that the two players, say if they did draft a safety in the draft, say in the first half of the draft, I think that it would be rookie plus the guy that we just re-signed,
Tracy Walker.
Tracy Walker, thank you. Oh, you got one. Oh,
I know.
So,
I'm working it out over here.
I great. That's awesome. I think it would be Walker plus rookie, regardless of who that rookie is, and then you're building good depth with Elliott. But that's the only thing that I think about that. So, I think the linebacking core is absolutely abysmal. I would like to add some more talent there, and I think that you have a lot of guys at corner. I don't know that any of them are the guys that I really want to go to war with. I think that
Araraway. You don't believe in Okudah?
I do not believe in Jeff Okudah. So
not to shut down corner.
I know, right? So I think Araraway played really well last season, and I think that he's probably the guy in that group that I would give a second contract to. But Jeff Okudah's been hurt now. You're going into year 3. You're going to have to make a decision on his 5th-year option. Melifonwu was hurt. I don't really know what he is yet. You know, Jerry Jacobs came in as an undrafted free agent and played well, but then he got hurt. I don't think so. You know, and then you have AJ Parker, who played well in the slot. So, I mean, like I think they have pieces that they can manipulate to put in to make a competent group. That group in any combination doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't. I don't look at that group and say we're shutting down competent passing attack. So I still think that you need to shake out who in that group is going to be on this roster long term. I would add talent to that group if the situation presented itself, whether that is a Kyle Hamilton, whether that is a Lewis Seen or Jaquan Brisker, or whether that's an Ahmad Gardner or another cornerback who might slip. If Stingley, I mean, like, I like Derek Stingley. I think he's been hurt, but I like Derek Stingley. So if you're going to take this defense from, like, let's say, I mean, like 28th or 30 or whatever it was last year, and you're going to get it up to say like 19 or 20, that's a good improvement. And like, I think that's the difference in like winning games. But if you're going to do that, I think you need to add talent at every single level, and you need to continue to do that until you know that the players that you have on the roster are quality NFL starters.
Yeah, I think ironically, I thought we would have different response in terms of it. I mean, you use the word talent, but it's still the same for me. There needs to be a person at each level. You know, there needs to be a person at D tackle, a person at linebacker, a person at safety, and you have a person at corner. If you got those 4 people, you got a good foundation on defense. And on offense, you know, the foundation they generally tell you is quarterback, offensive line, but for me, you need one at every positional group. And if you get that going, then I think you can see the success in the defense, because right now, like, as you said, who in the hell's worried about throwing the ball on us? I've seen people get hit in the mouth, literally hit in the mouth, and still deliver a perfect pass. Like, they don't care. Sure. Right. I
just think that I think that whether it's like you call it like a playmaker like Kyle Hamilton, or just saying that he's a more talented safety than, say, like a Tracy Walker, like,
you know what made Hamilton different from all the other safeties for me?
Please give me the distinction, because I would love to see it.
Okay. So I watch all safeties, right? Like I've been going through a bunch of safeties. I've been
I saw the mock draft that you did with Anthony on Roar the Lions UK, and I literally had to watch it in stages because I had to take time away to like recuperate mentally from it.
First of all, to be fair, I came prepared for that draft and did not think that the board would fall that way. But sure. I also came into the idea that the Lions could manipulate the draft to give them a better shot to have players for the second, third.
What do you mean the board fell that way? It was your board, man.
Yeah, but you got to keep in mind. The
only person in charge of the draft was you.
Yeah, but look, think about it though. Think about it. I had to pick every person. So I'm still saying that, you know, I'm taking what I think they needed based on their needs and who was available.
Anthony, give me a shot to do a first round mock for the whole 1 through 32. Let's put them side by side, man.
I'm just saying, but when I did it, the first thing I thought about was if we go and get one of the other safeties, I saw things that I'm like, yeah, I don't want that. And so one of the things that, like me, I'm huge on Brisker. In fact, I would draft a linebacker from Penn State all the damn time. I just love what Penn State over there doing.
Well, you and Will could have some chats about that. Brandon Smith.
Don't get Will started. You know, Will. Don't get Will started on Brandon Smith.
You said it. I mean, he's going to hear what you said. And
but he's going to send me a message. I know he's going to send me a message. Disrespecting the hell out of Brandon Smith. Brandon Smith is going to be a good player. I bet.
Anthony, let me know when and where, man.
But let me answer this question really quick. Then I'm going to finish my point. He says, but this comes from both. Gary says, you guys that want to get rid of Goff should be hoping he shits the bed this year. There's a strong possibility that Holmes extends him if he performs. I think that's true.
I think it's the exact opposite, shockingly.
Really? You think if he performs well, he's not getting extended?
His trade value goes up if he performs well.
Okay. I'm following you. I'm picking up what you're saying. Okay, yeah, so you think that gives him an option?
100%. It is so much better for Brad Holmes if Jared Goff plays well. Two reasons. One, the Lions get wins, right? And that's right. That is the Band-Aid to every goddamn situation in professional sports, that if you win, everything else doesn't matter. Second, it shows that he's more valuable, right? Like, people, you hear about this in the stock market all the time, like buy low, sell high. People do the opposite. Something's going to be good, I want it. Something's doing bad, get rid of it. So like,
true.
True. I mean, think of something like Jared Goff as a stock option that other NFL teams might want to acquire. So if he is going up, human nature is that's good, shiny red ball. I want to go get that. So like,
right.
I absolutely want Jared Goff to play well so that we can get rid of him.
You know what? I love that way of thinking, because if you're right, if I can increase his value and say, look, last year was a fluke. He went to the Super Bowl and look what he did with the Lions. Yeah, I'm still willing to trade him. Yeah, I like the way of thinking. Shout out to my brother over there, Lions Rumble 81, who says a good Friday, a live stream with Luke
the chat hates me, Rumble. No one likes me. They don't like my hat.
The hat. They hate the hat. Not
they
you.
Don't like my hat or my ideas.
It's the hat, man. As long as that hat on, you can literally say that.
My words are about the Lions, though. I mean, I'm not saying this so that I'm saying this as like an objective person who watches the Lions play football. No, yes, I would have a problem with that.
I'll be pissed. I would be 100% pissed if they took Jordan Davis at 2. That would piss me off, because to me, you that would mean 3 D tackles in the top 50 over the last 2 seasons. That's no fucking way.
You can't. I mean, like, I know that they say that if Jordan Davis falls to the Bucs and they take him, like, you could play Vita Vea and Jordan Davis side by side for first down, like, and then second and third down have to happen most of the time. So I mean, like, Jordan Davis to me is the most overhyped project.
Oh my god!
In the class.
Oh my god!
And Malik Willis is a close second.
Oh my god! Listen, you know what my problem with Jordan Davis?
Yes,
this is my problem with Jordan Davis. It's because he was so big and ran fast that people have lost their damn mind.
I agree,
and I don't get me wrong. Jordan Davis on the freaking Patriots would be great, because he would not be asked to get to the quarterback. He would simply be asked to take up space like Vincent Wilford. Cool, right? But Jordan Davis, second overall to the Lions, when you already got Penny, you already have Malik, you already got Brockers, you already have Levi Onwuzurike. Like, you're bringing them in to do what? Give you 2 snaps? I mean, what are we doing here?
I mean, because of the Trayvon Walker narrative and the Jordan Davis narrative, and like the fact that these Georgia defensive players in this class, they all seem to have low production, but they played on statistically one of the greatest collegiate defenses that we've seen. So what is the that sounds good. But
I fucking hate William.
But to me, what is weird is about Georgia is that you have all these extremely hyped up prospects who played on a defense that played extremely well, yet they don't have stats that back up any kind of production. So if that is a common trend among all of them, I think that there's a reason why there's a common trend among all of them, because I have a hard time believing that 3, 4, 5 separate players all fall into that same bucket. So I mean, I'm willing to bet on some of these guys at different draft positions. I just don't like the idea
of 2. Just say it.
2,
At 2.
right.
At 2. Yeah, just say it at 2.
Right.
Shout out to my man. I hope I said this right. Bob Bolane.
There's Dan Spanos. He likes to tease me on the other forums that I'm on. So he waits until I say something, and then he slips in these little like funny one-liners about me, and so now I keep an eye out for him.
You gotta watch for my man's Dan. Dan gonna let you know he here. This is Bobo Lane. I hope I said that right. It says, hello from Melbourne, Florida, from an old school Detroit fan. Hey, salute to you. Welcome to the show. Hopefully hit the subscribe button because we do this quite often. Also on my forum, this is open. Generally in most cases, but not today because I got to keep a strict schedule today. In most cases, I completely let people come on and cuss me out. That's how I met Drew. He literally came on.
I didn't cuss you out. I just disagreed with you. There's a difference.
He's like, what the hell you mean take a safety? There's no positional value.
Ridiculous. Yeah. I tried to stay away from positional value today. I'm sure everyone was tired of it. So
I freaking hate positional value. It says, Drew, this feels good. You've become a bit of a staple amongst the communities. I told you, Drew, they love you.
You got to stand out.
You have to change the goddamn hat. Look, that hat ain't gonna work for them. They don't want the hat. They need you to do it. It says, Luke, do you think Hard Knocks will tell us if we have a good offensive coordinator? No. In fact, they have a very strict list of things that they cannot show.
Buster, what's going to show of whether or not we have a good offensive coordinator is like how well they play on offense.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, BD Buster. Yeah, it's not going. Yeah, they can only show so much, and if you got to think to sell the show, they got to create drama. So. I don't expect to see that. You'll see a lot of camp battles. You'll see a lot of people being mad, trying to figure out if they're going to get cut. Everybody only watch the show to see how they let people go. Let's be honest, right? Like, I used to watch American Idol just to hear people saying bad. Like, what the hell was that? So I don't see it. I don't see it being one of the cases. Let's see. I'm trying to hit y'all questions, people. So if you in here, please drop a questions for us and stuff. Because like I said,
we could do a Q&A to finish up if you wanted to.
If I'm gonna do, I figure we do the Q&A because usually, I do the community. I let everybody come on and talk. But I got a very freaking strict.
But you were like, no, you need to share your opinions with the soul voice coming through clearly this week.
Listen, I basically guess you here to check me, and you have literally done just that. Every time I say something, you shake your head or you go, "Oh, what the fuck is that?" Right? So I'm just saying. We were so close to actually hearing about why Luke likes Hamilton so much.
He says it every episode. Anyone that's tuned in knows.
Well, I was going to tell you what the difference between Hamilton.
Oh, the difference. Okay,
yeah. I'll tell you. All right. So the first thing that I noticed that makes Hamilton different from the other players is Hamilton's ability to process information is beyond elite. It's so much quicker in what he sees and how he reacts to it versus the other safeties. I have went through so many safeties because y'all know me. I've been screaming take a safety for over the last 3 seasons, and we have yet to fucking do it. I just really need a safety that can come in and be smart. So the first thing that makes him stand out is he has elite intelligence that goes beyond what you see out of these people. The physical part, y'all believe in the 4.7 if you want to. I don't. I find it ironic that he magically got slower, and I'm putting air quotations up for those who can't see me. I find that he got slower at his pro day. Everybody else this year got faster except Kyle Hamilton. Ironic. Real ironic. And so, I mean, seriously, even Jordan Davis had a faster 40 at his pro day. I'm like, what the are you serious?
I know, it's crazy. You put him at safety.
Right, might as well, right? I mean, that's all we care about is speed, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing that makes Kyle Hamilton stand out from the other safeties is his ability to understand his instincts. Even if he's not sure, he can quickly recall what he learned in film study and adjust, which brings me to the third point. I've seen games where and this is like early on when he first got to Notre Dame, but that could just be because he was a freshman. But I've seen games where early on they were doing things to him that I was like, oh, damn, they're hitting him up. But by the time he got to the end of that season, They weren't doing that no more. He had adjusted, learned, and got better. And then by the time he got to the next year, they really figured out quickly. That's why he had so many interceptions early on, because they thought they can keep doing that stuff. And they discovered that it wasn't finna fly no more. And so now you start to see a guy who has shown that he's able to be coached up and coached in a way that makes him a better prospect. Now, when we start to go into some of the other prospects where you start to talk about range, yeah, some of these people are just box safeties. One of the guys that most of y'all want, Daxton Hill, ain't even a freaking safety. He's a slot corner. And if you make him a safety, you're going to get a guy who, in my opinion, is going to end up being forced and pushed out to the slot corner. And then people say, well, Luke, what about the fact that he's probably better suited for a linebacker? If he was 6'1", y'all wouldn't say that. If he was 6'6", if he was 6 feet even, you wouldn't say that. Only because he's 6'4", y'all want to play the game of linebacker. Well, that doesn't make sense to me, because I've also heard that he can't play in the box. And when I look at him versus the other guys, are there better box safeties than him? Hell yes. But are those box safeties able to come down, sell a certain look, and bail the hell out completely and do? No. It's not there. And as much as I love Jaquan Brisker, he's not that guy. Jaquan Brisker would predominantly be in the box for me. If you take Lewis Cine to me is more of Tracy Walker's position. He's more in that position. So at that point, I don't want Tracy Walker back in the box. And I don't want Lewis Cine in the box. And I don't want two of the same people out there. You need to have some type of opposite to your water, some oil, somebody that you can mash with. Y'all can sit together, but you got to have somebody different. And so that's what I see that makes him stand out from the other people. It's the intangibles on top of the intelligence that gets my attention.
Okay. That's awesome. You mind if I rapid fire some people in the chat real quick?
Yeah, I'm trying to get down there. Hold on. Let me just. Sorry if I skipped your question. I'm sorry. So let me get up here. I'll start from here from Breeze. What are your thoughts on Deshaun Elliott signing? That's for you.
It's a fine signing. It's for depth. I don't think that he's a starter.
I don't either. I think he's a backup that they're praying to God. If we had to put you in, at least you're healthy enough to do it. I'm not even sure he's still healed from last season. Let's see. This one comes up, says Salty. No, that's not it. Let me see. Let me go down, people. Get these questions in. Premium grade, Salty, and wasted. Let me see. Nope, not there. Let me see. I probably got to go back up. Shit. Let me hold on.
Yeah, I'm way higher than you. I'm up here by Bulgarius. So
how far you were? So you by Bulgarius? Let me catch up then. Hold on. Let me line up with
PM. Yeah.
Oh damn! I am. All right. Where it says Drew. You talking about that's one?
Yeah. So like the difference here, Bo, is in my opinion, they did trade. I think that when they made the trade, the Matthew Stafford trade, they viewed Jared Goff as a bridge quarterback to whomever was next. That is speculation on my part, and it's largely based on the fact that Jared Goff is not a great quarterback. He had one excellent season, and that is it. So,
and he did that with a unbelievable rushing attack.
Yes, the rushing attack was
that rushing attack was crazy.
Oh, so good.
That was I mean, between you basically had two running backs going already with Ty Gurley, and I'm drawing a blank on the other dude's name, but he ended up getting hurt, and then they came back and picked up CJ Anderson, and he went full asshole in his ability to run the ball. So
the football term.
Yeah, it's for me it is.
Like, you pick up a running back, and you're like, I hope this guy can go full asshole.
That's right, go full asshole. Like had that. That's why they call Tyrann Mathieu the honey badger. He don't care. He do what the hell he wants. And to me, I respect people like that. But yeah, I like the idea that it's a possibility that he could trade, especially if you tell me that they are sitting up there with an opportunity to do it. However, I also understand Bordeaux.
Carson Wentz just got traded for the second time in 2 years.
But he wasn't good though.
He's not good. That's
right. But what Bo was saying is
Jared Goff, if he has a good season this upcoming season, is a good version of Carson Wentz, and Carson Wentz is getting back draft capital. If you look at what Carson Wentz, because I believe the Eagles traded up to draft him originally, and like if you look at the picks that have been traded over the course of Carson Wentz's career for teams to acquire Carson Wentz, you would shit your pants at how many picks have been traded to get that guy on some roster. And like, to me, the desperation around the quarterback position every year, like you can throw anybody into that mix, and I think that they're going to bring back value. He's never making it to the third round. Something he would have to be injured.
Right. My man Bob Lane says quarterback Ritter making it to the third round. No,
0% chance.
Nope. I think too many teams need a quarterback, and if I got a chance to get him in the second, and I'm one of them teams like Seattle who has 2 back-to-back picks, I don't know how he makes. I mean, they just brought Geno Smith back to be the backup to Drew Lock. You think they feeling really good about Geno Smith, a guy that they know they can add at any moment? I don't see him making it to the third. I would be shocked if he did. Yeah. My man Adam Bucart says, if we get Trayvon Walker, that's another Trey Flowers as of right now, a run defender that gets sacks here and there. Yeah, I just don't understand how Trayvon Walker shot up boards. I don't. Trayvon Walker somehow shot up boards, but Boye Mafe ran pretty much the same damn 40, and he ain't shot up boards, and his production is better. So,
well, I mean, I think the difference between those two players is that one played at Minnesota and one played at Georgia, and they're the national champions.
Yeah, but that's still, but that's bullshit though. Come on.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think that like when you see the proclivity of some NFL coaches and GMs to draft from certain universities or conferences, I don't think it's saying anything. And that Minnesota is a middling Big Ten team. But yes, you're right. They tested similarly.
But my thing is if the whole thing is you can't tell me that Trayvon Walker is production based. You know what I'm saying? So what is it? It has to be the workout, right?
Yeah, I agree. I think that he is shot up boards because of the way that he is tested in the draft process, and I think that people become enamored with that. You made that point in a previous podcast. So people always they fall in love with the testing, and I think that that's what is happening with Trayvon Walker.
I mean, you talking about Trayvon Walker, a guy who got 9.5 sacks that got at least 4 first-round picks on that defense, maybe more. And you got 9.5 sacks in 3 seasons, 6 last. And you go and look at Boye Mafe, he has the production at least 15 sacks over his career. Even though he played an extra year, he still has 7 compared to the 6. 10 tackles for a loss, giving him 19.5 tackles for a loss. And Trayvon Walker has 13 tackles for a loss, but 7.5. So their numbers are the same, but somehow Boye Mafe is considered a late first, and this guy is all of a sudden the first overall pick.
I think that what people are saying, I basically think that everyone else believes that like the difference in those two players is where they played and the projection that you have those guys and what they're going to be able to do in the NFL. I don't know that there's that much difference between them, and that's why I would like to have Mafe at 34 as opposed to Trayvon Walker at 2. If Aiden Hutchinson isn't there.
I don't even know if you remember this or not, but I when I got tired of him at the Aiden Hutchinson talk, because I just thought like y'all don't get it. There's options. And I went and everybody kept
talking the same way about safety.
No, listen, I feel you, but this is the thing that this was everybody's like referencing point to argue with me was you saw what he did to Ohio State, and I just went and looked. I just went and looked and was like, well, who did Ohio State play? And I looked at the first one I saw was Minnesota, and I'm like, huh. And what really brought him to my attention was I was watching him at the Senior Bowl practice, and I was like, what the fuck was that? Like every move was deliberate. And then I went to go watch, and I saw the Ohio State game. I watched the whole game, bro. Yeah. I literally watched the whole game over as if though I never seen it before. I was like, I'm just gonna watch it again, right? Because a lot of times when certain games is on, it might be in the background. I'm cutting grass or some shit. Ain't no telling, right? So I'm like, okay, let me just watch the whole game. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. He wrecked Ohio State. So is Ohio State really that good at the offensive line, or is it like what are we doing here? And I made a whole video talking about it. And, and I said, look, this is a guy that we can still get probably late first, second round. But then he went out and did the combine stuff. And I was like, well, probably won't make it to the second. But he was somebody that stood out to me, that stood out to me that I went, oh, okay, that's where you get it done at. So I just, I get it. Let me see. Let me hit a few more questions and get up out of here. I'm going to fall asleep thinking about how slow Hamilton is. I mean, I didn't know that 4.59 or 4.56 was slow, but
fast.
I didn't. It's not fast for who?
It might be fine for safeties. I mean, but like,
right? It's a safety. It ain't like we asking him to be. And listen, we can't say receivers that slow. Jarvis Landry ran a 4.7.
Here's the right. That's true. So like, here's the thing that if someone else had run below expectation at the combine and then run slower at their pro day in the 40, you'd hear about it. But for whatever reason, Kyle Hamilton seems to be immune to that narrative. And I think that is interesting. I don't know that I agree with you that I think that he plays faster on tape than he ran at either of those two, his pro day or the combine.
The only people that ever said he ran a slow time are people who's holding clocks, who probably was up there typing while they was holding a damn clock. There's no way he got slower. I'm not buying. I went back and looked at a bunch of pro days.
Maybe his knee is not completely healed.
Are we doing it? Okay. All right. So you really, why'd you do that to me? What do you mean?
Well, I mean, like he had a knee injury that caused him to miss the second half of the season.
But wait a minute. If he had a knee injury and he came to the same platform, the combine that everybody else came to, and we accept everybody else 40 time, why do we not accept his 4.59?
I mean, that's my question. I mean, like, it seems like the quote unquote people who are running the combine, or like the NFL analysts or the draft pundits or whomever it was, watch Kyle Hamilton tape prior to the combine, expected him to run faster than he ran. So that would be like, so my question would be, why did he run slower than expected? And then at his pro day, he ran slower still, where you have.
But he didn't, though. He ran fast at the pro day. The time that they actually recorded the pro day was 4.56. You had some other sources
who said it was like 4.69.
No, they had the people who said 4.69, 4.7, 4.74, they all were hand clocking. He had to run through a rope which stops the clock that said 4.56 at his pro day.
Okay.
So those guys were hand clocks. And plus, only reason I brought this up is because I want to show if he had a problem with his knees. Let me see if I can find it.
I mean,
not saying you, but I'm just saying if he had a problem with his knees, then this time shouldn't count. We accept this bullshit. we accept Amare Barno's 4.3.
Sure.
So I'm just saying.
So, I mean, I think the reason that we accept it is because whether it's right or not, all of these guys ran the 40 in the same place over the same weekend.
Agree.
And so,
but I never heard of nobody getting slower. Can you tell me the time you heard somebody getting slower?
No.
Yeah,
but that is why. So, like, I have heard of guys who didn't run as expected. Like Jalen Weidemeyer from Texas A&M is a good example this year. Like going into the draft after the season, he was going to be a middle round tight end prospect. And then he goes to his pro day and he tests out so poorly that it's like there has to be a reason why he tested out that poorly, because you don't see that what he did like testing. You don't see that in his game tape. So what's the story? And like that's what I think happened.
A lot of times it's nerves. I think it's nerves on top of some people just not track people. It's sure. Like Barry Sanders said that he wasn't necessarily always the fastest guy, but if you put somebody behind him, he was
Barry Sanders is made out of smoke. I mean, it's not fair.
Barry's made out of smoke.
You want
to grab him, but he's not there.
Go right through you. There was some fun story about Barry Sanders. Where, like, his first game that he played against the Vikings stopped the game because they thought that they were having such a hard time tackling him that they thought that he had put like Vaseline or something on his uniform. And the refs checked him, and they had to go back over and tell the Vikings, like, yeah, we didn't find anything. You're just gonna have to find a way to tackle him.
One of my favorite plays is when Barry literally is surrounded by 3 Buccaneer players. I have no clue to this day how he got out of it.
He's made out of smoke, man. He can dematerialize and rematerialize at will. He's not even human.
But this is, to me, it's the proof that I need to know if something wrong with his knee. It's the fluent movement, the back pedaling, the turn. That don't like a knee issue at all to me.
Okay. I mean, and you might be right. I mean, if I was Kyle Hamilton, I would not participate at the combine if my knee was anything less than 100%, because I don't want to take the chance of like my stock getting hit. But like, what I am saying is, whether I don't know really anything about Kyle Hamilton. One of the things I know is that people who study the draft for a living expected Kyle Hamilton to run faster than that, because that's what they saw on tape.
But they also did the same thing to Treylon Burks and said that he didn't run a fast 40. You know,
yeah, and that's weird too, because like when you watch like some of like when he was playing against the best competition, Treylon Burks, like when he was up against like I don't know that he has stiff hips, but
the video didn't show that.
But like when he was playing against some of the best competition, like against Bama, he pulled away from their defensive backs. Like he may not have, he might be the kind of wide receiver that needs, like if you get him, like say you threw him like a screen pass or something, and he was able to like straight line it, he might be able to just outrun everybody on the field. But if you ask him to run the 40, it doesn't look very impressive. I mean, like people have different kinds of speed. What?
That fan man says Drake is not the GOAT artist. You gotta understand,
Wasn't he on the
era.
Grotty?
It's his era. And under Kyle Hamilton's era, all he ever hear is Drake. Drake literally is everywhere, and so he knows Drake. For some people who was familiar with the 90s, they may have Jay-Z. Some people may have Tupac, Biggie, but some people may have Eazy-E, Ice Cube, Snoop. It's their era. If you ask me, I don't care what the era is, my rappers is going to be different. Like to me, Nas, Biggie, Rakim, them the three. Then I could put Jay-Z in there somewhere, but them the three. Them three, Nas, Biggie, and Rakim. Good luck with that. Just lyrics on top of lyrics on top of lyrics. And that's their era. So it just depends on what era you come from. That's all it is, you know. I'll take one more question. What you think?
That's fine.
He said Adam is your rival, Luke. I love Adam. Adam is like, he is so over the safety talk, and I think I'm over the take a player just because you do. And the idea that money or who's the highest player doesn't matter. If it doesn't matter who the highest paid player is at what positions. Every time they do stuff like that, and they say, "Oh, this person's the highest paid player at this position or this position group is," I can care less. None of that matters because a lot of those people with contracts are not good. Let's be honest.
Fake.
Huh?
You're wrong.
Well, hold on, wait. Before you go on your tirade, just hear me out.
Yeah, I know. I've heard it all before.
How many of those people in those groups are bad players? How many of those people that have got paid and not performed to their contract?
Yeah, okay. So like once again, let's get on the same page here. Like whether we are talking about, if I'm talking about like an edge rusher or you're talking about a safety at 2, we are not talking about whether or not those guys don't work out. We are talking about them as if they are going to work out and be productive players.
Right.
So yes, so we were talking a little bit about this before we went live.
Yes.
So a good draft for any GM in the NFL, if you have 7 picks, would be 3 out of 7 players.
Yep.
If you hit 3 out of 7 players year in and year out, you're one of the top 10 NFL GMs in the entire league. So most of the guys that anybody drafts don't work out. So like you're right. Like you don't want to give, like here's the thing about what your point, Luke, is that you don't want to give a second contract to a guy that doesn't work out. So
plus there's nothing we can do with him afterwards. I can't if the quarterback busts, I'm assed out. I can't do nothing with him. If the offensive lineman busts, I can try to move him, but I'm assed out. And if the DN busts, well, we already seen what happens in that department, Courtney Brown and so forth and so on.
Right. So yes, they didn't work out. So let me give you an example of someone who is working out. Okay. And that's Joe Burrow. Right. Yep. So let's talk about quarterbacks.
All right.
So like Joe Burrow and like his time in the NFL should be a reason why the Lions should look at Malik Willis. Because if we were to draft Malik Willis and he does work out, he offers the greatest upside to this team becoming a winning franchise on the fastest possible trajectory. Okay. So let's talk about Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow went to the Super Bowl this year, right? Joe Burrow in this last season is playing like a quarterback that if you had to pay them, you would have to pay him somewhere in the neighborhood of $30, $35, $40 million a year for the type of production that he is bringing to his team. Okay. You are not paying Joe Burrow that. You are paying Joe Burrow something like $8 or $9 million. Okay. So the difference between those two things allows you to go out and affect your roster in a positive way. So Joe Burrow working out and being a good draft pick, even if it was number 1 overall, allows you to say, I have the production of somebody who I am paying. I would otherwise have to pay $35 million plus a year. I get that at 8. So the difference between those two things, or 9, is like, let's say it's $34 million. Is that right? No.
Okay.
25 million dollars.
For the purpose of this, let's just say that that's the truth. Go ahead.
Let's just say it's the truth. So instead, you get to take that difference and you get to go out and spend it on a safety, on a corner, a linebacker, any other position to help your team. And that's why getting players on rookie contracts and them working out, that's the absolute key point here. It doesn't work if they're shitty players. That is why it is so important to hit on your draft picks. That is why in 2017, when New Orleans hit on like 5 or 6 guys, Trey Hendrickson and the running back Kamara, they hit on a couple of linemen, like I believe Ramchick was in that draft. Like, they got established quality above average NFL starter production for like a third of what those players are worth. And then they were able to go out and use that money to go out and fix the rest of the roster. That is what Detroit needs to do. So what you're trying to do, hang on, one more thing and I'll let you go. What you are trying to do is you're trying to figure out where is the ratio the highest for every dollar that I have to spend on the roster for every unit of production that I get out of every single player. And that is different based upon position. Now, you're right. There are people like potentially a Kyle Hamilton or a Quentin Nelson who offer so much value regardless of their position that they make up for the difference. But generally, if we're not using the unicorns in the NFL to make this point, and you're talking about your above average starter and not your superstar, that is where you can take that money and then you can use it better than other teams. And that is what Detroit needs to do, because they are not Miami. They are not New York. They're not Los Angeles. They're not where people want to live. So you have to figure out ways to do this. Like, a team that's not in a big market like Detroit absolutely should be using positional value as a way to help identify what players they want to take. Now, I'm not saying that they can't take a Kyle Hamilton at 2 if they truly believe that he is going to be a unique or generational player. But what I am saying is, with your 32nd pick, with your 34th pick, with your first round pick next year, you need to start addressing some of the positions in the NFL that demand the highest average per year salaries, like wide receiver. You just saw 3 or 4 guys this year at wide receiver get 25, 26, $30 million a year contracts. And that's not how their contracts are actually structured. But teams are investing hundreds of millions of dollars into these positions. And if you can get them, do you know what the difference between what Devontae Adams makes right now and what Justin Jefferson makes? That difference is extreme. And it helps you plan out the rest of your roster.
The difference is your comparisons of Joe Burrow would make sense. Now, first of all, to be clear, people, he does not want Malik Willis.
I don't want Malik Willis. I'm not arguing.
I understand his argument that he's making to the point of saying it. The thing, why the money thing that I'm referring to is which is one of the things that Adam uses, where he talks about the highest paid positions, and why I don't care about it is because that's in the situation, like you said, if it works out. And so the thing is if it works out, then it becomes a deal, right? Obviously, you want to say it becomes a deal if it works out, but history tells me that that's not so clear cut. And so,
but if we trust in Brad Holmes,
no. This ain't got nothing to do with Brad Holmes. This is what the history of the NFL say. If you look at the number of quarterbacks taken in the first round, and how many have been hits and miss, it's staggering. Right. It's very disturbing. And I know that I know that the evaluation process is difficult. I know that it's a bit of a challenge. Like, I get it. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, it's staggering. And for me, one of the things that I look at with is
while you're thinking about that, Hang on.
No. I'm saying does the money, because I'm trying to make sure I word it the right way.
Sure.
Does the money really come into play until we're talking second contracts? And if you're and then there's other parts of it too, where it's like if this person doesn't work out,
yeah,
you're going to lose more money on that quarterback at 2 than you would at the safety. Because I know you said that did some kind of strange thing with his contract where he got more guaranteed money.
Yeah, we were talking about Zach Wilson last year.
Yeah, how did he do it? I know he did something where I know he got a nice chunk of change.
He did not get more money. So the amount of money that every draft pick gets is based solely upon where they are selected. So Zach Wilson was the second pick. That locks in what he is eligible to be paid. So he cannot so some teams, let's say, Jacksonville last year, right? Jacksonville drafts Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence says, okay, I'll take the going rate at the number 1 overall pick or whatever. Zach Wilson is not able to negotiate a higher contract than what Trevor Lawrence has, solely based upon the way the rookie wage scale works. So what he argued for and what he held out in the camp for was the language that went into his contract that determined when he got paid and how much of his contract was guaranteed.
Okay, got it. I'm with you. We on the same page, but that's what I was bringing it up. But I'm just saying, if you miss on him, like right now, if the 49ers miss on Trey Lance after what they gave up,
right?
Shit,
right. Right. They are chips in the middle, all in on Trey Lance, right?
Right. So that's all I'm
with
saying.
You on that.
Yeah.
All right, people. Let me say this real quick though.
Go ahead.
If you're going to miss on a player, you want to miss on them on their rookie deal and not their second contract. So either way,
that's fair.
Yeah. So either way, it is more beneficial to take a player at a quote unquote position of need so that you can either hit on them and get a savings or miss on them and not lose out later.
All right, so Blue and I was getting ready to end it, but I'm gonna push this a few minutes because I got to ask you this question. All right, Blue and Silver says safety is the least important position on the defense.
I disagree with that assessment.
Now, my question is this, okay, Drew? If the NFL is a passing league, how can the person who is the last line of defense be the least important position on defense?
That's an excellent question. That is an excellent question. I don't have the answer.
I don't either. I'm
I don't have the answer.
To me, if you look at every team that's had success, they've had safeties.
I disagree with that assessment.
Who hasn't had a safety?
Well, I would say the Super Bowl winning Los Angeles Rams.
They had a safety.
I mean, everyone has a safety.
No. John Johnson was. We were hoping that he
played in Cleveland last season.
Right, but what I'm saying is John Johnson was one of their safety that they had. They went up. Eric Weddle to me was still a stellar safety, even though he was old. He still was stellar.
He played in 2 years.
I know, but he still came. But listen, he still came in and provided production for him. So
sure,
we can say that because they understood that we need somebody. We need somebody to. What's the word I want to use? We need somebody to man that middle of the field.
Sure.
Now, what I didn't say is everybody had to have a certain type of Hall of Fame safety, but you have to have safeties in this game. That's one of the reasons why the Buccaneers was harassing people for the longest with Winfield and I'm drawing blanks over here, man.
And I'm just saying that I think that if you take a guy at 32 or 34, they can accomplish what you just said, and you don't have to do it at 2.
I don't. To me, I just don't want. Like, can they accomplish it? Yes. I'm just taking the stance that my brother, my man Mike from my man OMG, we talking Lions, his Lions talk, right? From him, my man Coach Mike, that's what we call him. He want the best available pass rusher in this draft, and I want the best available safety because to me there is a huge drop off, in my opinion, from Kyle Hamilton and the other safeties. Now, don't get me wrong, I can be wrong. Mm-hmm. This thing is a crapshoot on every level. Like we can look at it a number of different ways and just be wrong. But when you have people at every level of the defense, which we talked about earlier, it makes it different. I don't believe that safety is the least important position on defense.
I agree. It's linebacker.
Linebacker. You could probably do without a linebacker. Steve-O says Eric Weddle came off his couch, and still performed. What's the point? No reach here. Right?
Steve-O's point is that you can literally bring in a dude off the street. No, you don't need to take a dude at 2.
No, you can't literally.
Eric Weddle had not suited up in 2 seasons.
It doesn't matter. Eric
Weddle
was still a good. Eric Weddle was still a good safety.
Sure.
Before he joined them, 2 years off ain't nothing but 2 years to heal. And apparently, as much as you picked him off the street, he was still prepared and ready to rock and roll.
And that's great, but they didn't invest anything in him is the point. To get what he gave them.
No, at that point they couldn't invest. They didn't have no goddamn money. They just traded for Stafford.
Right. Exactly. So they got something for nothing. They didn't invest the number 2 pick in Eric Weddle coming off his couch to have a Super Bowl run. That's the difference.
First of all, you can't use the example of they didn't invest the number 2 pick in Eric Weddle's coming off no couch because that doesn't even make sense. And second of all, if we being fair and giving it a fair assessment, it's not a matter of they invested this into getting this person. They said, hey, who can we get that's not going to cost us much but can still perform at the safety position at a high level? And they chose Eric Weddle. Right, but here's the problem.
It doesn't cost them much.
Right, but here's the problem. Why was Eric Weddle, a guy who ain't played in 2 years, still able to perform? You ain't going to tell me he physically was up to the par.
Listen, I give the Rams a lot of credit for being able to identify that, but
because he's intelligent.
Right,
the intelligent part.
I'm not going to pay the number 2 pick for someone who's an intelligent safety when I can find a guy like an Eric Weddle.
Let's go back in history. You sitting up there with Troy Polamalu, and knowing what you know about Troy Polamalu right now, you wouldn't spend a 2nd round pick on him.
When I use my comparison,
wait. You got to answer the question first, and then you can go. Gotcha. Would you use a 2nd overall pick on Troy Polamalu?
If Lawrence Taylor was
no, this is not hard. This is a yes or no question. You're sitting there.
I will answer your question if you answer mine.
Listen. I've answered every question to be fair. Right? I'm saying to you, yes or no. Would you use a 2nd overall pick on Troy Polamalu?
Do I know that Troy Polamalu is going to have Troy Polamalu's career when I make the pick?
I'm saying you know everything about Troy Polamalu right now. You just got a chance to take him 2nd overall. What you do?
When he was coming out of college or right now?
Me and you, we should probably have a law firm of Luke.
I know. I mean, but like am I taking Troy Polamalu coming out of
listen
USC,
to the question?
Or am I
listen to the question. I'm gonna give you to the question.
Yeah.
You know all the information that you know about him as it stands right now.
If I'm not getting 20-year-old Troy Polamalu, I'm not taking him number 2.
Okay. So here's what I'm saying to you. Okay. I'm not telling you to nobody's telling you to reverse the time on the clock. The question is yes or no.
No.
You already know what Troy Polamalu has done. You take all that information, just say, hey, you know this. You know this information. And now you're at the draft with the 2nd overall pick. Are you taking a Troy Polamalu there? Yes or no?
Is he 20 years old or not? I mean, I'm not going to draft a 40-year-old.
Nobody talking about a 40-year-old. What are you?
Okay, so if I'm taking Troy Polamalu out of college, knowing that he's going to have that kind of career, yes, I would take him at 2.
Okay, so now we got past all the semantics.
But you don't know if Kyle Hamilton's going to have Troy Polamalu's career. That's the problem with all draft picks.
The thing that Kyle Hamilton shares with Troy Polamalu, Ed Reed, Steve Atwater, a lot of the great safeties is the high IQ, the high football IQ and intelligence. And that to me is enough of an indicator, along with his physical abilities, to say I can take him 2nd overall. That's my point.
So if I asked you the same thing, only it was if you were going to draft Troy Polamalu or you had Lawrence Taylor in the same class and they're both available at number 2, who would you pick?
Troy Polamalu.
That's insane.
It's not. And Drew, you're gonna think I'm joking, but you probably should have used a totally different person because, in my opinion, as much as I love LT, he was on crack, and crack make everybody Superman. I hate to tell you that.
I mean, so you can take a player who doesn't use crack, who ends up having Lawrence Taylor's career.
Yeah, he was high as hell, Rocky Mountain High. Rocky Mountain High.
So I think that if I am going to assume that Kyle Hamilton is going to be Troy Polamalu, I want you to assume that whoever what the edge rusher equivalent is going to be Lawrence Taylor for this theoretical question.
No, I can't do that. See, I don't see no comparisons because one, they're not doing crack. That's the difference. Listen, I've dislocated my shoulder and I was done for the game. How he still landed to people with that shoulder on crack is beyond me. But if you're asking me,
in my theoretical question, you're saying that I have to take the fact that Lawrence Taylor actually used crack cocaine as to whether or not you would draft. Fine, let me use a different player then who did not use.
Give me anybody but my. I love me some Lawrence Taylor, but he was high as hell.
You can take Reggie White at number 2 overall.
That's a really
right.
Good one.
You have Reggie White's career, and you have to. Your decision is, I don't know. Chat. Do you know if Reggie White was addicted to opioids?
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. No, if you're asking me between Troy Polamalu and Reggie White, I'm taking Reggie White. So I love Reggie White. I'm taking Reggie White.
Good. We're going to use that as an example. So, you can draft Troy Polamalu, or you can draft Reggie White at 2. Who you?
I'm taking Reggie White. I'm not running from the question. Listen. I'm not running from the question. I'm answering the question. I'm being honest in the question that you're asking me. If you telling me Reggie White is there, it is Reggie White and Troy Polamalu. I'm taking Reggie all day because Reggie has the physical ability, and Reggie also has the ability, the intangible abilities too. So I get it. Like I totally get it, right? But when you said Lawrence Taylor,
that's the question that the Lions have to ask, right? Is that
who do we
assume is going to have the better career at their respective positions?
Right, but it's not a matter of who's going to have the better career, in my opinion. Because when let's put it this way: if Anderson from Alabama came out, are we talking about Thibodeau or Aiden Hutchinson being the first overall pick? Nope. We're not.
Okay.
If you move it to one draft over, nope. So to me, there's no comparable to it. But if Hamilton came out last year, he'd still been the top 5, top 10 pick.
That's fine. I don't care if he. I don't mind that he's a top 5 pick.
My only thing is, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Deacon Jones, come on.
Like, don't get me wrong. Reggie White, I love Reggie White, man. Like, Reggie White to me, dude. Like, you couldn't tell me nothing about Reggie White, bro. I love Reggie White, but I also understood what he brought to the table. He brings those same things I want to the table. And if a Reggie White was in this draft, you wouldn't hear me say take a safety. There ain't even a Cameron Hayward in this draft for me right now. Shit, I'm concerned with these pass rushers, and I really am. Thibodeau, I mean, is he gonna play hard? He's comparing himself to a guy like Jadeveon Clowney. Why not say Myles Garrett? Why not say somebody?
It does seem like a weird comp.
I mean, come on. And then you talking about Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson reminds me more of Trey Flowers than he do the TJ Watts or something. You know what I'm saying? But if you're asking me like the 1 year where Ed Reed came out, it was Ed Reed and Julius Peppers, I would have took Ed Reed. That year. Julius Peppers, I think, went 2nd overall that year, and Ed Reed went like much later down it. But I would have took Ed Reed.
So it would be interesting. You still got that thing up for the drafts that you were looking at? Because
you talking about for each year or just our draft? Oh, I know you're talking about. Hold on, let me see.
Yeah, the one with the Peppers and Reed in it. Because I think there's a discussion to be had. Like Peppers at whatever pick, Reed at whatever pick he was. That's a discussion to have.
Yeah, I mean,
but we're talking. The difference between who was it that put it up there? I don't remember who it was that posted.
What year was that? 2002 or 3? It was 2000. I gotta go through and look. Hold on.
A long time ago.
Let me see. It had to be 2003.
Bill, we know that. It's okay. I mean,
what did he say?
He said AD is not. Come on, Luke. So Bill, I get it. My whole purpose here in this forum is to slowly bring Luke over to this way of thinking by the erosion of unassailable logic.
I don't listen. This is the thing, Drew. I understand all of y'all logic. I don't think that y'all logic is wrong. I don't think that y'all are crazy. I don't think that nothing y'all said is delusional. What I'm saying is that's what they say every year. That's what they talk about all the time. But guess what? Every year it's a fail. It does not work out the way that people think it is. So now when that happens, I'm like, okay, let's be honest about what we have here. We don't have those type of players at the edge rush at the top of the draft. We don't got that. That's not what we got. That's not what we have. Now let me bring this up because I wanted to bring it up. So
Bill, I love that. Thank you so much. Yeah. Let's take a look.
He says, "I agree with you, Luke."
He's my favorite person right now. I love.
I know. Go ahead. All right. Yeah. So where you want me to start at? I'm with you.
Oh, so we got Peppers at 2, right? So where'd Reed go?
Reed went like in the 20s. I want to say.
Oh yeah,
24.
I saw the HOF. There he is, 24. Right. Yep. So I think that Peppers going at 2 is very relevant here to our discussion, right? So
right. Okay.
So this is a wonderful example. Whoever posted this, thank you. This has worked out really well. So this very easily could be a situation that Detroit finds himself in this year, right? So
but won't.
I mean, but all I'm saying is that we don't know what happens yet. So
no, I do, because guess what? Because guess what? If you were to look at Julius Peppers, right, Julius Peppers balled out. He, the numbers is there. We know what he did, right? Like Julius Peppers, he balled out.
Right.
But the difference was for me was when I was talking about Ed Reed and why I would have took him over Julius Peppers.
Right.
What Ed Reed did is a different beast. See, Ed Reed got the ball back to you.
Right. And Julius Peppers, if I remembering correctly, I think the Athletic had a report on this, never created a turnover in his entire career.
I'm saying this guy got the ball back to you often. Like often. And I know that we are in love with sacks. We love sacks. Everything about the sacks are amazing. I get it. But in this sport, I need possessions. And if I can get the ball back to my offense, and if you look at the teams who have had success going to Super Bowl and winning with great defenses, they got the ball back.
I mean, I would think, I would say, though, the real shame in that draft was TJ Duckett, by the way. But
Hey, what you not gonna do? Okay, what you not gonna do is sit up there and
I would rather have a 270-pound dude crash into the opposing quarterback.
No, you ain't finna do my dog like that.
Yeah. TJ hybrid fullback / running back, Atlanta Falcon. What a poor guy, poor bummer.
All right, so this right here. All right, so even right here.
Yeah,
you're looking at this guy right here. He came in. He came. I don't even think they got this right because I remember he had more stats than this. I think he had
no sacks,
and he came out of college. No, I don't think this is right.
Is it North Carolina?
Yeah, I thought he had 14.
Oh, it's rough. I mean, why would you take a guy with low statistical production, number 2 overall as a pass rusher?
But that's what I'm saying. It wasn't. That's not what happened. Damn it, I can't remember. God, I can't remember. This can't be right though.
This is working out so well for me. Are you saying is what this is saying is that it's got to be just defense? He didn't have a single sack in 3 years.
He played basketball. Right. That's what it was. He played basketball. Was it? No, that was that.
Well, these are not basketball numbers.
I know. I'm saying, but he did something. I can't remember what it was. But nonetheless, let me get back to it. The reason I went to his college stats, and I wanted to show you his college stats and stuff. Oh, that's what it was. He did play basketball. He was a two-sport athlete. None of these people are a two-sport athlete. None of these people who none of these Aiden Hutchinson doesn't have the get off and the wear off of a Julius Peppers. You're not going to tell me Thibodeau has the wear off and the get off of a Julius Peppers.
I mean, I can say the same thing that my opinion is that Kyle Hamilton doesn't share the same traits as Troy Polamalu or Ed Reed. But you think that he does. That's the difference.
Well, when you look at people like Ed Reed, right? When you look at people like Ed Reed, and again, I just remember that damn Miami team.
Sure, they're a good team.
I mean, that's probably where part of the damn allure of it came from, because that Miami team was nice. But look, 21 interceptions, right? Mm-hmm. He had. See, they not putting all the information in here. Because I know he had a lot of pass defense. He had a lot. I don't know why that's not in here. I guess they didn't go back that far. To give a shit, I guess.
I believe that Ed Reed ran a 4.56 at his pro day.
4.53 at the pro day.
Okay, if you're gonna argue with me over a tenth of a second, I'm
just saying, just because you know we got the law enforcement for YouTube out there, so we gotta we gotta be really accurate these days. Accurate.
I'm not great at that. I'm more of a theory guy.
I mean, pretty much.
Which is kind of what this Lions team is, a theory.
But again, keep in mind, and to the people who are like Luke, give it up, aka study the game. It's no need to give it up. You're none of these DNs in this draft you will be willing to take over Anderson. None, not a single one. There ain't a DN in this draft.
Oh, Will Anderson.
Will Anderson from Alabama. They wouldn't take none of these DNs over Anderson. Not a single one. And when we go back over recent history, like Xavier Collins, who, in all fairness, ain't getting enough playing time over there, so I ain't gonna kill him. But people like Josh Allen, the linebacker for Jacksonville, what's going on there? Tested well, had the numbers, got at the people. What about Jalen Ferguson, a guy that I was high on?
I don't know that you can consider Josh Allen to be a bust.
I'm not saying he's a bust. What I'm saying is he had the production on top of it. And I'm saying I felt more better about Josh Allen than I did about any of these guys. Any of these guys. These guys I don't feel are nowhere near what we could have had. I don't feel that. I don't feel like we can compare these guys to anybody. Now, again, keep in mind, to be fair, and Drew, you brought up Lawrence Taylor. I was honest in telling you, look, it's just the fact that I don't know what Lawrence Taylor was without the drugs, because when he was not on them and they started when he was not on the drugs, the production wasn't there no more. And the only reason I know he was high most of that time is because he said it. And then two, I had a dislocated shoulder. I can tell you right now, I didn't even want to have sex because I couldn't. That shit hurt. The vibration of it hurts bad. He's out here still landing the defenders. And that ain't no goddamn numbing shot. That's a dude high. He went in there and snorted a line and came back out like the Incredible Hulk.
This is a good question. Hang on. Blue and Silver has asked, Luke, Derwin James or Lamar Jackson?
Derwin James or Lamar Jackson. Ugh.
Why is this even a thought? I don't understand.
Because with Lamar, with Lamar Jackson, there's some things about his game that's irritating to me. Okay. And with Derwin James, there's some things about his game that's irritating to me. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to weigh out the pros and the cons. If I were to put it in context and say, who would I rather have on the Detroit Lions? I'm taking Derwin James.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Y'all don't gotta like it. That's what I'm telling you, the truth of what I would do. Yeah, but I'm just telling you the truth on what I would do.
Anthony, if you're still in the chat, we gotta set up this mock draft so I can give Luke an example of like how to draft. There we go. Where are you?
I'm just saying.
Let me ask you this, Luke. D has just proposed this. Derwin James better than Kyle. Your thoughts? What would you say? Coming out of school, who would you say would be the better prospect at the respective?
If they both was coming out?
Yeah, let's say they were both coming out in the same year. Who do you think? Who you picking first?
Kyle Hamilton. It's the intelligent part. Like Derwin James is all athlete, all physical. He's smart too, don't get me wrong. But it's the intelligent part with Kyle. It's the way he processes stuff and how quickly he does it that gets me. But yeah, Derwin James was dope. I love Derwin James. Don't get me wrong. I thought he was dope when he played. But coming out, it's like, okay, cool. And then Steve-O says he didn't smoke crack until 86. What? Even though, damn that, he was, look, wait a minute, where's it at? Where's the damn comment go? He didn't smoke crack till 86. That man was high as hell. Where? I know I missed it. Where's it at? Oh my God.
I saw it too. You're right. Yeah.
I can't find it. All right, let me see. Shout out to D Hair 95. He says, Luke, let me take a second to admit that I was wrong about Matty P. That blemish will be on my record forever. But with that said, Kyle Hamilton at 2 would cost people their livelihood. I don't think so. I think the quarterback would more. The quarterback, would more. The DN, he'd be safe. Safety, he'd be safe. Quarterback, he fired, because at that point, if what happened, like what happened with Josh Rosen happened, or what happened with Trevor Lawrence, how they now sent back up here, and it was a quarterback worth taking, it'd be like, oh, okay, they have a trade partner, but it's like, yo, we back number one. Like, I think the quarterback can get you fired, though.
Yes, the quarterback will get you fired. Now, I do think if Brad Holmes, say, took Malik Willis and it didn't work out, I think that he probably had, I mean, depending on what else he does, I think that he might be able to survive one bad quarterback. But like, to your point, Luke, and like what we have seen in the NFL is that GMs have a shorter and shorter window to turn teams around. That's what's different about the Lions situation than, say, Carolina, you know. But like, I still think that the defining pick of Brad Holmes' tenure in Detroit is going to be whether or not he hits on the next quarterback that he has. I mean, it's still possible that like their plan is to build around Jared Goff. I just cannot fathom it. But like,
they are doing it though. You can see it. You can see them building around him.
There's nothing else to do.
True.
Right now.
True.
I mean,
true.
So like, but like, if the long-term idea was to trade for a quarterback that you're paying as the 7th highest overall, Jared Goff has the 7th most expensive contract for a quarterback in the NFL. Like, for what he brings to the table, it's an abomination of roster building. Like I'm convinced that they had to take him in order to get the draft picks that came along with Matthew Stafford. So like,
I'm sorry. I'm laughing at technical boom. He says LT on crack, but Luke on catch up.
Yeah, I didn't want to bring that. I saw that, but I didn't want to bring it up.
This is what this is for. I'm just telling y'all, like, but this was funny.
Now,
I could have swore, I could be wrong, but I could have sworn that in the football life for LT, he said he started using drugs in college. I could have sworn he said that. I could have said he started drinking and using drugs in college.
Highlight Tony Chase here for a second.
Oh, let me come down. All right. Trying to replace a talent like Stafford will not get you fired. You guys are insane.
Well, because they're not going to get fired for replacing Matthew Stafford because ownership, management, and the coaching staff all knew that that's what they were doing.
Yep.
Like that was the plan. The plan is to replace Matthew Stafford because he requested a trade. And you said, yes, this guy's the most valuable asset on the team. We're going to be able to accomplish 2 things with this. A, it's Derwin James. That's ridiculous. So, I mean, Cam Jordan.
I mean,
is good,
no time to think about it.
No, sometimes you just know. But
go ahead.
But like, you have Matthew Stafford. He wants to leave. Good. You're going to do that because what you want to do is reshape the team to look the way you want it to look, and the easiest way to do that is to retool the quarterback position. So they bring in Jared Goff. Okay, I don't love him, but like Brad Holmes had a hand in selecting him in the draft and knows him and can kind of trust what he is, which is great because you don't have to go in with a question mark at the quarterback position, and you get the picks. So they can use the picks while Jared Goff is under this ridiculous ass contract that the Rams signed him to. And then they can eventually go out and get the guy that they want to be the quarterback of this team moving forward. So,
plus, I look at it like this: taking the quarterback this year, you essentially are telling them that, hey, we're ready to take that next step towards being a playoff team. And at that point, that quarterback will signal that. And if you don't make the playoffs, you're fired. You know, I mean, right now he was ready to trade up for Levi, and he was ready to trade up for Sue. And had Dorsey not been there, he would have done it. Dorsey told him, just relax, chill out. So again, don't I don't want to do it. But D says Kyle look average. What do special what he do that's special? He can't play in the slot. Name me the safeties in the NFL that's covering the slot receivers. I'll wait. Name. You're gonna be hard pressed to find that damn group where they are solely being used to cover slot receivers and press coverage.
I will say though that if you can find safeties that can masquerade in a certain alignment at another position, I think that's valuable. Like if you but see, he can masquerade in there,
They just, for some reason in Notre Dame, his ass was in press position on them slots. And I'm like, why is he so goddamn close? And if you look at our games, our safeties wasn't even that damn close to the slot receivers. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just, it's going to go against him to do that, you know?
Yeah. Blue and silver. The reason why I think Lamar Jackson is so much better than Malik Willis is first of all, is Lamar Jackson a great passer like someone like a Josh Allen or a Patrick Mahomes? No, he's not. But the difference between Lamar Jackson throwing the ball and Malik Willis throwing the ball in what the NFL is going to ask them to do is night and day different. That's the difference. And the thing that they share that makes everybody want to compare them is that they're mobile.
It's okay. So I want to hit this and one more thing, and then we gotta get out here. I went way over my time. I'm having too much fun. Shit. Study the game says Luke, pull of Jackson Kruger's Kyle Hamilton film breakdown live on YouTube for us while you watch it. Well, speaking of which, my man JKS, my man Jackson will be on the show on Monday at 5 p.m. So he will be on Monday at 5 p.m. and I plan to talk to him about his Kyle Hamilton film. And so you'll be able to see me talk to him directly about it. So he will be on here live on that Monday at 5 p.m. so we can talk about it. I saw his video, but I got some questions for him, and he knows it. And so we are coordinated for this Monday. Yeah, that's the 18th, right? Yeah. So this Monday coming up, he'll be on the show, so you'll be able to see it. The second one is Steve-O says, but you said LT was high on crack, Luke. I'm pretty sure crack wasn't a thing until the mid-80s. I'm pretty sure he said he started using drugs and alcohol in college. I'm pretty sure he said it was. But if he wasn't on there, I just don't know. As a person who dislocated his shoulder and who was a tough guy when it came to football, I don't know how you still tackle with that same shoulder. I don't know how you do it. I don't, unless you was on crack. I'm just being honest. Let me see. Did I miss anything? All right. People. Thank y'all for joining us. I do appreciate it. I thank you for coming on, Drew. It has been so much fun. This has been a joy. Drew, of all the people you could have named, you went LT. If you ever caught some of the early ones before you discovered me, you'd have realized I was like, look, I love LT, but he was high. And I don't know which part was the drugs and which part. I know in college he was a beast, right? Like, don't get me wrong. But damn, he said, I'm pretty sure he said in his football life that he used to use drugs in college too. So,
well, the YouTubers will find out for us, right?
Blue and Silver said, you full of shit. Yeah, you know the YouTube police, they out here in these streets, you know alphabet boys. Blue and Silver says Cam Jordan all day over James. Write that check. You know, I didn't even have to answer. He went straight to it. No, not even close. Appreciate you, Bill, for coming through. He says, thanks, Drew. Thanks, Luke. Appreciate it. All right, sir. Give the people your final thoughts and tell them how they can find your podcast where you talk all things what?
Star Wars.
Dun, dun.
So final thought. Everyone knows I'm a believer in positional value. That doesn't mean that I don't think that Kyle Hamilton is a good prospect. I just worry about the situation at 2, and Luke and I differ on what we feel the team needs more. So right. My thought would be take a edge rusher at 2, trade out of 32, take a wide receiver at 34, and then try and address the safety position. Then that's my final thought. Plug in my podcast. So if you like Star Wars and don't hate the sound of my voice, then I would recommend that you.
What does that even mean? If you love Star Wars, but don't hate the sound
of my voice. I mean,
who the hell does that?
Sometimes you hear someone talk. I mean, remember that show like The Nanny or whatever it was with?
Oh yeah, her fucking voice was annoying.
Oh my god, what's happening?
Yeah,
but
it's fair.
If you like Star Wars and don't hate listening to me, crack open Spotify and then search for Mediocre Conversations with Tom and Drew. We have about 23 episodes out. It's just about Star Wars and how we feel about it, basically. And we talk about stuff and crack some jokes, and he's a good friend of mine, and it's a good listen. And if you're looking for a new podcast, it's free, no problem. We'd love to have you. We'd appreciate it.
I appreciate you for coming on. Clearly, you'll be back.
Thank you, Luke.
You'll definitely be back. Again, I kept it one-on-one because I was trying to keep it for time. I'm probably gonna still get yelled at when I get off of here. Luke is the last Jedi.
He might be.
Talking about that second overall pick.
That's an underrated film, by the way.
Look, Blue and Silver said that. Look, the Mandalorian is fire. Yes.
Hell yeah, it is.
Yes.
Hell yeah, it is.
Oh my God, y'all got me dying tonight. All right, good people. Thank you. If you still here, I hope you hit the like button already. The video definitely went a little bit longer than I expected, but I was having fun with it. And I already knew that Drew was not going to let me say something. I'm gonna work on Drew while he's working on me to shift my view.
It might be an unstoppable force meeting an immovable object kind of situation.
I'm just trying to get him to shift this hat. I'm gonna work on this damn hat. If we gotta mail him a hat, we gonna figure this out.
They start showing me they can be a winning franchise. I'll buy a hat. I'm not gonna buy their shit.
They basically said they would rather you pull a mag and just go without the hat on. You know,
no one wants to see that.
But to the people who hung around and stayed around, thank you so much for rocking with us, man. I had so much fun today. I wanted to put a show on for the people who had to still work today, or the people who want to come back in the replay game, or maybe you just need something to listen to while you're driving and just want to laugh and stuff. Whatever. It's for you. Skip it, jump it, whatever. I'm cool. You know I can't end the show unless I do it on a positive note. And today's positive quote comes from the internet because I do not know who wrote this. But I love the quote. It says, if you don't control your subconscious mind, society will control it for you. Oh my God. Sometimes things just find its way into my life and I don't know where it comes from. If you don't control your subconscious mind, society will control it for you. Y'all wonder why I don't go with the group. Let's get back to this right here. Some of y'all is sitting out here trying to process life. And I understand that the process of life can be a little bit challenging. And then there's many things that can run through your mind, from how do you pay this bill, or do I stay or do I go, or I hate this job or I don't hate that job, or whatever the case may be. But however it is, find a way for you to be the captain of your ship, for you to be in control of your fate, for you to be the director of your movie, the writer of your book. Make it so that whoever tells your story tells the story that you want them to tell. Do not allow others to write your story for you. Don't go and get a director to make your story and change what happened in your life. Tell the story as it is. Accept what you are, accept who you become and where you've come from and where you're going. Set yourself up in a way that enlightens those around you so that they can have an example that no matter how bad things get, no matter how grim or ugly they may come, you can survive it. You can be a palm tree in the eye of a hurricane, bend a little bit, but stand up every single time something comes your way. Simply show them that your story is not written until you have chose to write it in the way that it needs to be written. And if you are sitting up there trying to make sense of what I'm saying, understand the simple words that come out of my mouth right here. If you don't control your subconscious mind, society will control it for you. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please hit that like notification bell. Please subscribe, because we do this quite often. Also, for the people who was new to the show, it is usually an open forum where I allow you to come on. And if you think I'm crazy, feel free to tell me so. As you see, we have Drew on to tell me I've lost my mind. Okay, so with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, don't be no chump. Please do your research. We are out.